Chapter 197. Bang! In a split second, the divine martial sex disciple was sent flying. "Xia Chuan, what are you trying to do?" Zhang Wudi turned to someone and said angrily. He couldn't take it anymore. The person called Xia Chuan revealed a proud smile. I'm watching a spar. Don't you know? I don't think my divine martial sex disciples are that strong. A few outer disciples behind Zhang Wudi glared at him. If it wasn't for Zhang Wudi, they might have attacked him. How arrogant. Do you think the divine martial sect is a place where you guys can do whatever you want? Zhang Wudi really wanted to fight, but if he did, he wouldn't be able to defend himself. Outer sect disciples weren't a match for them, and if he fought, it would make people think otherwise. He had been tolerating it, but Xia Chuan and the others didn't care at all and kept provoking him. "Who is it? Come out." Someone behind Xia Chuan said angrily, although they weren't from a sect. They didn't think much of people from a sect. At first, they were a bit afraid of the divine martial sex disciples. Later on, they had some conflicts and sparred with each other. Only then did they realize that the divine martial sex disciples weren't necessarily as strong as them. This time, they were invited to participate in the protection of the Golden Breeze Drizzle building. They were from the Scattered People Alliance, so they naturally wanted to perform well. Later on, they would attack the divine martial sex disciples from time to time. Other than Zhang Wudi from the divine martial sect, they didn't care about the others. Since they couldn't beat them, there was nothing to worry about. Luckily, they were smart. When dealing with the divine martial sex disciples, it was just a spar. The divine martial sect was one of the 3 great sections. Their Scattered People Alliance wasn't weak, but they still couldn't compete with the divine martial sect. If it wasn't for the fact that the divine martial sect didn't send an elder, they naturally wouldn't have thought of sparring. It could be said that they were bullying the divine martial sect because they didn't have an elder. Using the opportunity of defeating the divine martial sex disciples, all kinds of ridicule were blocked. Lin Fei didn't have any sense of belonging to the divine martial sect. Facing a towering tree, if he could lean on it, Lin Fei wouldn't mind. After all, everyone knew that leaning on a tree was good for shade. The Divine Force sect was such a big tree. When he saw that person send the divine martial sex disciple flying, Lin Fei was enraged. If it wasn't for the divine martial sex disciple flying towards him, he might have to recuperate on the bed for a period of time. That was why Lin Fei said those words. He didn't give them any face at all. They didn't have that kind of face at all. So what if I said it? Apart from Zhang Wudi, the rest of the disciples of the Divine Force sect were all confused. Who was this person who had just appeared out of nowhere? Could he be a disciple of the divine martial sect? "Brat, kneel down and admit your mistake." A dark-skinned, middle-aged man beside Xia Chuan roared. His fists were like mountains as he punched towards Lin Fei's face. At the same time, he revealed a mouthful of yellow teeth and a savage look in his eyes. "Little Lin, be careful of his mountain-weight fist." Lin Fei was as unmoving as a mountain. With a gentle wave of his hand, Wang Kai was thrown back. He staggered for a moment, then stopped and faced the incoming fist with a single hand. Too slow. In the eyes of the crowd, this fist was extremely fast. This middle-aged man who used the mountain-weight fist had defeated several disciples of the Divine Force sect. Fighting with force would not give them any advantage. The dark-skinned, middle-aged man instantly felt that his fist, which could kill a low-level martial artist, was actually caught by his opponent. No matter how much strength he used, his opponent's hand was like an iron hoop. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free. Kicking crotch. His fist couldn't move. Just when he lifted his leg, he saw a sneer flash by. Crack! His whole body was sent flying a few meters away. "Damn it! How dare you?" Lin Fei snorted coldly. His eyes were like lightning. After the middle-aged man landed on the ground, he immediately let out a miserable scream. "My leg is broken." It hurt so much. The battle ended quickly. The dark-skinned, middle-aged man who attacked was quickly carried away. Xia Chuan and the others were beaten until they were disoriented. Just who was this kid? Just now, when he broke He Shan's fist technique, it seemed very ordinary. On the other hand, the mountain-crushing fist was like a towering mountain. Even though he was only at the 8th celestial layer of the martial path, his chances of winning against someone at the 9th celestial layer of the martial path were not small. The gap of one realm could be made up for with his skills. It was not difficult to win against someone of the same realm. Among them, the happiest was Zhang Wudi. He was completely shocked by Lin Fei's expression. No matter what technique it was, there was a process. Zhang Wudi knew He Shan's fist technique the best. It was ferocious and not easy to defend against. But Lin Fei had crippled his opponent with just a grab and a kick. Zhang Wudi was worried that Lin Fei would not be easy to deal with. But in the end, it was easier than he had imagined. There was no sign of battle. "Senior brother Zhang, I'm not late, right?" Lin Fei strode forward. As soon as he spoke, the faces of Xia Chuan and the others darkened. A question appeared in their minds. Did their divine martial sect send disciples here? Zhang Wudi laughed and purposely used his gaze to provoke Xia Chuan. "Junior brother Lin, you came at the right time." The 7 to 8 divine martial sect disciples smiled. They were just guessing who Lin Fei was. But after hearing Zhang Wudi's words, they couldn't help but think of something. Wasn't the outer sect's first place Lin Fei? He was Lin Fei. His strength was too terrifying. They didn't dare to take He Shan's fist technique head-on. He Shan was defeated by Lin Fei in less than 3 breaths. What kind of strength was that? No matter how they guessed, Lin Fei had easily defeated his opponent and won their admiration and acknowledgement. The first place in the outer disciple competition was indeed a solid achievement, and there was no doubt about it. Xia Chuan and the rest's faces were ugly. They thought that Lin Fei was a newcomer and wanted to teach him a lesson. But in the end, they met a dragon. More importantly, Lin Fei was from their rival divine martial sect. This news was as disgusting as eating a fly. He Shan was injured and his leg was broken. He would need to rest for at least half a month. They had lost a helper. What is the divine martial sect trying to do? Xia Chuan needed an explanation. Zhang Wudi's Xian Qi turned into sound and secretly told Lin Fei, "They are from the Scattered People Alliance. You have to be careful." Lin Fei nodded. The Scattered People Alliance was an organization that he recently learned about. In the whole world, other than some sects and families, there was another huge group, which was the Scattered People. Unaffiliated cultivators, as the name implied, were solitary cultivators. They didn't rely on luck to become unaffiliated cultivators. They didn't know much about cultivation, and they were considered poor people. A single weapon or medicinal pill was extremely stressful for them. Unaffiliated cultivators belonged to a group that didn't have the love of their grandmother or the love of their uncle. In the world, scattered people didn't have a high status. Later on, someone created the Scattered People Alliance, which meant that they had a backer. Xia Chuan was one of them. His status wasn't low. "Senior brother, let me handle this." Lin Fei took the initiative to put the matter on him. Although he didn't know Zhang Wudi for long, he was the type who focused on cultivation. Otherwise, he wouldn't be bullied by them. Zhang Wudi also understood his weakness. He was happy to see Lin Fei solve it. "Do you know about the divine martial sect?" Lin Fei took a step forward and faced Xia Chuan. He squinted his eyes like a tiger that was about to rise. Xia Chuan sneered, "Of course I know. The fallen dynasty, the 3 great sects. It seems like you're not deaf. You also know that the divine martial sect is one of the 3 great sections. Then you still dare to ask me for an explanation. What are your intentions? Do you think that the Scattered People Alliance can fight against the divine martial sect?" The last few sentences were like rolling thunder, suddenly ringing in their hearts like a bolt from the blue. Senior brother, well said. The Scattered People Alliance is nothing. Only Zhang Wudi couldn't help but frown, but he didn't say anything. Lin Fei didn't give Xia Chuan a chance to speak. Just now we were just sparring. He wasn't as good as me, so he deserved to suffer. If you don't want to, I don't mind changing the method. Attacking an inner disciple is equivalent to provoking the divine martial sect. I can kill him on the spot. What a powerful person. Xia Chuan's face was gloomy. He felt an inexplicable pressure. He knew that he had lost. Xia Chuan heard his subconscious words clearly. If he didn't come to his senses, He Shan would be labeled as a sinner. It was true that He Shan attacked without saying a word, but Lin Fei said that it was a sneak attack. They couldn't say anything else. If Lin Fei really wanted to kill He Shan, they wouldn't dare to stop him. The divine martial sect's disciples seemed to be on steroids. It seemed like if he didn't lower his head, they would definitely rush up and kill He Shan. Xia Chuan didn't dare let this happen in front of him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the ability to be the leader. Zhang Wudi, you're lucky this time. Let's wait and see. Xia Chuan snorted coldly. He left some harsh words to Zhang Wudi and turned to leave. Lin Fei's eyes were filled with anger. It was fine if Lin Fei lowered his head, but now he didn't know how to repent and even dared to say such words. Lin Fei was naturally very unhappy. He could clearly see the anger on Zhang Wudi's face. Insulting an inner disciple. Take my fist first. Lin Fei bellowed, and his entire body dashed out. Xia Chuan sneered in his heart. His words were just to provoke Lin Fei. Young people were young people after all. They couldn't take any provocation. Sky-soaring cannon. Lin Fei attacked. Xia Chuan immediately used the sky-soaring cannon. His fists were like cannonballs. He seemed to have expected that Lin Fei would attack. I missed. Xia Chuan's heart sank. He immediately activated his protective earth chi. He felt a huge force coming at him. It felt like the protective earth chi was about to break. Puff! Dang, dang, dang! Xia Chuan's eyes were filled with shock. A trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Chapter 198. Uft! Xia Chuan coughed out another mouthful of blood. The exchange just now had only lasted for an instant. Xia Chuan had underestimated the other party. With a single sentence, he could no longer suppress his surging qi and blood, which directly injured his essence. The people that Xia Chuan had brought with him turned cold. They didn't dare to stay any longer and left with Xia Chuan. Xia Chuan coughed out a mouthful of blood. He wanted to leave immediately. As soon as they left, laughter could be heard from behind. Good job. I can't stand them. Senior brother Lin is amazing. Xia Chuan left in a sorry state. The disciples of the divine martial sect were the happiest. Recently, they had suffered quite a bit at Xia Chuan's hands, and today they had finally vented their anger. If they had defeated He Shan before, they would have been impressed, but after they had fought and made Xia Chuan suffer, they felt as if they were looking at a monster. Senior brother Lin Fei was too strong. Well done, Lin Fei. No wonder you caused the entire Li family to vanish into thin air. Zhang Wudi looked at Lin Fan with admiration. Ever since he came back, he had been practicing his combat skills, and his strength had increased greatly. He thought that he was better than Lin Fei, but in such a short time, Lin Fei had improved so much. He remembered that he was only at the 7th level of the martial path before he left, and now he was at the 9th level in the blink of an eye. Zhang Wudi clicked his tongue at Lin Fan's speed. Freak, too freakish. Lin Fei knew that it must have been Wang Fei who told him. He smiled casually and said, after returning from the divine martial sect, I had a fortuitous encounter in the mountains. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for me to kill the Li clan's people. As for exterminating the Li clan, I couldn't have done it. Zhang Wudi didn't ask any more, but his eyes were filled with envy. This kid was already freakish. Now that he was at the 9th level of the martial path, wouldn't he be even more freakish? Let's go in and talk. Uffed. Outside the Golden Breeze Drizzle building. After Xia Chuan was helped out, he coughed out another mouthful of blood. His face turned pale. Big brother Xia, are you okay? Do you want me to call someone and teach them a lesson? Xia Chuan shook his head. Please don't. That brat is more mysterious. Before we understand the situation, we can't make a move. Immediately go and investigate that person's background. As for the others, don't go looking for them for the next few days. When they arrive, we'll teach them a lesson. Our scattered alliance might not be any weaker than them. No one dared to disobey this order. Xia Chuan glared hatefully in the direction of the training field and left unwillingly. You said that Xia Chuan was injured by a young man? In a pavilion of the Golden Breeze Drizzle building. Looking down from above, they could see more than half of Mountain River City. At this moment, there were two people sitting across from each other. Between them was a table, and on the table was a chessboard. The two of them were equally matched. Xia Chuan was indeed injured by that person. I heard that that person is the #1 disciple of the divine martial sect's outer sect, Lin Fei. He is very strong. It turned out that the scene that had just happened had attracted the attention of others. The #1 disciple of the outer sect defeated Xia Chuan. He has some fame. The divine martial sect has produced many geniuses. No, Xia Chuan is at the 9th level of the martial path, and his strength is only a step away from the profound realm. How could he be defeated? The one who spoke was one of the people playing chess. He was dressed in white and he was frowning. Obviously, he couldn't figure it out. He was one of the vice leaders of the Golden Breeze Drizzle building, Shin Sanbao. Just tell me what you know. The other person was also a vice leader, Yang Kai. Thus, the person briefly explained the situation. Both of them were deep in thought. Xia Chuan was not weak, and he had defeated many experts. There were even early profound realm experts among them. In their eyes, Xia Chuan was nothing, but the #1 disciple of the divine martial sect's outer sect was obviously interested. You can leave now. Soon, only the two of them were left. Besides the sound of chess pieces being placed, there was no other sound. That person should have a great advantage in terms of speed. I think so too. Xia Chuan suffered a lot this time. Shen Sanbao said, I think this is good. The people of the Scattered Alliance are competitive, not as practical as the people of the divine martial sect. Yang Kai placed a chess piece. Since the newcomer of the divine martial sect is here, I think our worries can be solved. Is it possible? Shin Sanbao was still doubtful. If we don't try, how will we know? Originally, I thought Xia Chuan was not bad. As for that Zhang Wudi, his strength is not bad, but the details are obviously not suitable. Yang Kai said then that Lin Fei appeared. First, he restored morale, and then with just a few words, he suppressed Xia Chuan, allowing him to seize the initiative. Then, in the end, that boy Lin Fei held the initiative in his hands, making it impossible for anyone to grasp the slightest flaw. What do you think? Then let's give it a try. Shen Sanbao thought for a while. I'll talk to the leader later. Lin Fei and Zhang Wudi talked about a lot of things. Among them, the most important was the matter of the Golden Breeze Drizzle building. What he had learned from Wang Fei was not detailed enough, but what Zhang Wudi said was much more detailed. It turned out that the Golden Breeze Drizzle building had recently been fighting over a mining area with the World Sect. It was a gold mine with a huge capacity. The battle had been going on continuously. In the beginning, it was open and above board, but later on, they attacked in the dark. The Golden Breeze Drizzle building had lost many men, so they sent a letter to the Divine Martial Sect to ask for help. The Golden Breeze Drizzle building was a subsidiary force of the Divine Martial Sect. Such a big sect needed a force to strengthen its influence, and the Golden Breeze Drizzle building was one of them. Every year, they offered various things to the sect. So, After the Golden Breeze drizzle building was attacked, the situation was not under control, so they informed the Divine Martial Sect to solve the problem. When Zhang Wudi and the others went out, they received orders to complete the traveling missions that inner sect disciples often did. Their goal was simple: to protect some people from the Golden Breeze drizzle building. With the protection of the Divine Martial Sect, those people had to think twice, or they would be against the Divine Martial Sect. Lin Fei also knew that this time, Zhang Wudi was just the first group, and there were a few experts behind him. A gold mine with a huge storage would definitely make people jealous. The Golden Breeze drizzle building could strengthen, and the Divine Martial Sect could get more resources. The same was true for Tianxia, so they would do anything. From the side, he understood that Tianxia also had the support of the gang, or else they would not be able to run it. After knowing the goal, Lin Fei felt less pressure. "Do you know how to solve the gold mine?" Lin Fei asked casually. Chapter 199. P.S. I'm sorry to all the readers. Ever since the new year, I've been suffering from a cold and couldn't focus on writing. Now that I've recovered, I'm sorry for the long wait. This competition has nothing to do with us. We only need to ensure that some people are fine before the gold mine is settled. Only someone else can handle the rest. Zhang Wudi said casually, as if this gold mine had nothing to do with him. Lin Fei wasn't interested in this competition. After all, it was decided by the higher-ups. Then, who do I need to protect? Zhang Wudi smiled bitterly. I'm not sure at the moment, but I should know soon. When the time comes, I'll send someone to inform you. As for junior brother Lin Fei, your strength has improved so fast that even I can't catch up. Lin Fei was startled. He didn't expect Zhang Wudi to say that. He smiled humbly. My luck is pretty good. The two of them exchanged pleasantries and talked about some meaningless things. It was nothing more than some matters of Mountain River City. Half an hour later, they came out of the room. I heard that you're living in the Rune Guild now. When do you plan to move here? Zhang Wudi asked casually. Lin Fei thought for a moment. I still have some things to deal with. It should be in 3 days. After helping the Rune Guild, Lin Fei would be able to free up some time. 3 days should be more than enough. He would not need too much time. Then we'll do as you say. We'll come back in 3 days. Zhang Wudi said. Oh, right, be careful when you go out. Xia Chuan and the others will find trouble with you. Lin Fei smiled. Thank you for the reminder, senior brother. If Xia Chuan dares to bring people here, I'll let them know what regret is. After saying that, a cold light flashed in his eyes. Zhang Wudi saw it all and was shocked. This junior brother has such a fierce, killing intent. How did he cultivate it? Just as he was about to leave the building, Brother Lin Fei, wait a moment. Lin Fei raised his head. You are... The person in front of him didn't know at all. Instead, Zhang Wudi explained, Junior brother Lin, this is the chief steward of the Golden Breeze drizzle building, Yang Qian. Lin Fei did not know why the head chief was looking for him, so he said politely, Greetings, Chief Yang. Yang Qian's attitude was very warm. Brother Lin Fei, you are young and promising. My tower lord invites you up for a seat. Your tower lord wants to see me. Lin Fei couldn't help but feel curious. He wasn't much, so why would he be invited? Even Zhang Wudi was surprised. Zhang Wudi had met the Golden Breeze Drizzle Pavilion's pavilion master before, and he was not so polite. Instead, he looked at Lin Fei enviously. Yang Qian took note of the other party's reaction. In Mountain River City, the Golden Breeze Drizzle building, other than the Duke and a few clans, was an existence akin to a hegemon. Anyone who received such an invitation would be incomparably excited. However, the other party didn't seem to be excited at all. Now that Brother Lin Fei has met the Tower Master, all your doubts will naturally be resolved. Lin Fei thought for a while. Then I'll have to trouble Chief Yang. Since the Tower Master had invited him, Lin Fei naturally couldn't refuse. The two had different statuses. To be able to establish the Golden Breeze drizzle building, they naturally had their own abilities. He was just a small inner disciple, and there was nothing special about him. Junior brother, after meeting the Tower Master, remember not to be arrogant. Don't lose face for the divine martial sect. Zhang Wudi couldn't help but remind. This Tower Master's strength is at the mystic level. Lin Fei was slightly surprised. This Golden Breeze drizzle building's pavilion master's strength wasn't bad either. Above mystic level was mystic level, and after that was mystic level, which was 2 whole realms of difference. Yang Qian led the way. The Golden Breeze drizzle building was huge, and there were pavilions everywhere. It wasn't just an ordinary splendor. In Lin Fei's eyes, this Golden Breeze drizzle building was just like that. In fact, there wasn't much difference. Weren't all the mansions in the future like this? This kid is not bad. His mentality is calm, and he isn't tempted by external things. No wonder he could become the #1 outer disciple. He is truly a genius. Yang Qian made an evaluation in his heart. This was also a mission given to him by the higher-ups. If Lin Fei knew that he didn't care about the surroundings and ended up with such an evaluation, he probably wouldn't be able to hold back his laughter. Yang Qian brought Lin Fei to a pavilion. The Tower Master is upstairs. You can go up personally. In front of Lin Fei, this pavilion was designed in a very classical style. It should have cost a lot of money. He was truly rich. Facing such a big figure, Lin Fei was somewhat nervous. He took a deep breath and slowly walked up the wooden stairs. Seeing Lin Fei walking up, Yang Qian quietly left. This blanket is not bad. This carving is not bad either. Lin Fei looked calm on the surface, but he was trying to distract himself from his nervousness as he muttered to himself. After going down the wooden stairs, they walked into a pavilion with elegant decorations. The fragrance of sandalwood lingered in the air, giving off a different kind of smell. Lin Fei didn't like this smell. This Tower Master had a different kind of interest. "Come in. Please take a seat." Lin Fei had only taken a few steps when he heard a loud and clear voice. It was like the sound of a large bell that kept ringing in his heart. If it wasn't for his strong soul, he would have been scared out of his wits with just one sentence. What a strong power! Lin Fei didn't think much of the strength of a Xian cultivator, but just one sentence from a Xian cultivator was enough to make his soul scatter. It was really scary. Cold sweat broke out on his back. This mysterious heavenly mainland was indeed full of experts. Ever since he comprehended the wind mentality, Lin Fei's confidence increased greatly. When he met a Xian cultivator today, his heart trembled and he felt great pressure. He realized that he had underestimated the experts of this mainland. He didn't know that someone was also shocked. The sentence just now used a sound wave attack. When ordinary people encountered it, they would be shocked and lose their wits. Even if they recovered, they would need a certain amount of time. But this Lin Fei, in less than 3 breaths, returned to normal. It was really unexpected. The #1 outer disciple, worthy of his name. Lin Fei sat down, feeling nervous. The curtain was pulled open, and a middle-aged man in black walked out slowly. Lin Fei raised his head and secretly sized him up. The middle-aged man had a mustache and had a dignified aura. He seemed to have been in a high position for a long time. His body was filled with the aura of a leader. His every movement was filled with endless dignity, as if anyone who dared to disrespect him would die under a thunderous strike in the next second. Divine Martial Sect's inner disciple, Lin Fei, greets the Tower Master. Lin Fei stood up, neither servile nor overbearing. The Divine Martial Sect has a good disciple. Not bad, not bad. The middle-aged man's voice was dignified before, but now his tone was amiable and affectionate. Those who didn't know would think that he was a close relative. Lin Fei was 120% alert. He was afraid that he would say something wrong. Facing such a big figure, he felt great pressure. The tower master of the Golden Breeze Drizzle Building was emitting a majestic power. It seemed that his every move was filled with killing intent. Lin Fei didn't dare to speak carelessly. Even the divine martial sect had to be polite to a mystic spirit realm expert. The middle-aged man continued, "You are a good person. Before the matter of the gold mine is settled, you just need to protect her well. I will never forget it." Before Lin Fei could ask, Chief Steward Yang Qian appeared again. "Brother Lin Fei, this way, please." Lin Fei had a stomach full of water as he stood up and walked out. "Tower Master, this person is not bad, right?" The one who spoke was the Vice Tower Master Yang Kai, a rare good disciple. The divine martial sect is lucky to have him. "Miss Jean has Lin Fei's protection. I don't think there will be any danger," Yang Kai said. "Besides, from the information we gathered, Lin Fei is also a runes master. He is really talented." "You are right. The only thing I am worried about is that my daughter won't like him." The middle-aged man rubbed his forehead. It seemed that the girl he was talking about wasn't easy to get along with. Yang Kai laughed. "That's hard to say. Let's just wait and see." After coming out of the pavilion, Lin Fei was still confused. What was the tower master thinking? Inviting him over for a few words. Was it just to show him who was the boss? That didn't make sense. After thinking for a long time, Lin Fei still couldn't figure it out, so he decided to stop thinking about it. "Chief Steward Yang, according to the tower master, he wants me to protect someone. I wonder who this person is. Can you tell me so that I can be prepared?" Lin Fei decided to sound Yang Qian out. Yang Qian laughed. "Brother Lin Fei, don't be anxious. This matter will only benefit you. You will know when the time comes." This was equivalent to not saying anything. Lin Fei was very unhappy. He couldn't help it. The other party was a mystic realm expert. He didn't have the confidence to say anything. Coming out of the Golden Breeze Drizzle Building's headquarters, Lin Fei realized that there were many spies in the surroundings. They concealed themselves well. Even an idiot could tell that they were watching the Golden Breeze Drizzle Building. Reckless. After turning a corner, Lin Fei's face couldn't help but darken. With a thought, he walked into one of the alleys. As expected, 2 people followed behind him, not knowing that they were discovered. After the 2 entered the alleys, they realized that the person was gone. Where did he go? "Find him. We must find him." The 2 were furious, but at the same time they showed fear. It seemed that this was very important to them. "Are the 2 of you looking for me?" Lin Fei's figure appeared behind them. He came and went like a ghost. The 2 were startled. They realized that something was wrong. Feeling that they couldn't be heard, they shouted, "Don't give him a chance. Take this brat down." One on the left and one on the right, they pounced on Lin Fei. Lin Fei released his divine sense. They were definitely courting death by following Lin Fei. "Both of you lie down." Lin Fei's figure was like a shadow. His 2 hands slapped at the 2, heavily hitting their chests. They flew out and lost their ability to fight. The 2 flew out and realized that they had met a tough bone. How could this person be so powerful? Pa! The head of one of them exploded like a watermelon. Red and white covered the ground in the alleys. He couldn't be more dead. "Tell me, who told you to follow me?" Before the other person could react, a huge foot stepped on his face. He was in so much pain that he wanted to die. "Don't kill me. I am from Tianxia," the spy begged. Chapter 200. P.S. Update starting. Please support me. After killing 2 scouts, Lin Fei couldn't help but be vigilant. Tianxia sure is fast. They are already suspecting me. Maybe the Li family's young master is behind this. Or maybe they have received some news. Gui Yuan City is only so big. The news might not be able to be hidden. Tianxia, be careful. No matter what the reason is, I have to be careful. After cleaning up the 2 corpses, Lin Fei didn't stop and disappeared into the depths of the alley. Half an hour later, there were also people appearing in the alley. They seemed to be looking for something, and only left the alley after the time it takes for a stick of incense to burn, as if they were never there. At the same time, Mountain River City in a house. Someone was full of anger. Why is that brat from the Lin family still alive? A bald young man was throwing a piece of ceramic on the ground. Looking at the appearance of the ceramic, it was not cheap, at least a few hundred silvers, which was equivalent to 2 months of living expenses for an ordinary family. Young Masterly, you can't blame us for this. Opposite the angry young Masterly, a person said indifferently, not taking the other party's anger to heart. The originally angry young Masterly suddenly calmed down. If Lin Fei was here, he would definitely recognize that the so-called young Masterly was actually the young master who escaped from the Li family, Li Yun. At that time, it was because Li Yun escaped that Tianxia made a move. Of course, this also involved the Black Tortoise Gate. I can't accept this. I really can't accept this. The brat from the Lin family destroyed my Li family. This hatred must be avenged. Li Yun's face was ferocious. Ever since he learned of the changes in the situation, coupled with Lin Fei's appearance in Mountain River City, Li Yun suddenly felt an inexplicable pressure, and at the same time, a stomach full of anger. Li Yun was not the reason why someone who was supposed to be dead appeared in Mountain River City. If it wasn't for the Under Heaven gang looking after him, Li Yun would have turned around and left. He didn't dare to stay here. Back then, the huge Li clan had been destroyed in a single day. Lin Fei's evil reputation had spread far and wide. Li Yun didn't have the heart to fight. Li Yun was afraid. Li Yun didn't have any thoughts of resisting the 9 heavens of the martial Tao. The person opposite him spoke again. Young Masterly, you actually don't have to be anxious about this matter. The Under Heaven sect has suffered a huge setback at the hands of the Lin clan, and they can't swallow this down. Furthermore, the kid from the Lin clan is in Mountain River City. Don't forget, Mountain River City isn't some Gui Yuan city. Even a dragon that has left the water will still coil up. After Li Yunsong escaped, his temper was very bad. The person in front of him didn't dare to show any anger, because the person in front of him was none other than a deacon of the Black Tortoise sect. I hope so. I don't want to see that brat Lin Fei again. After returning to the temporary accommodation, Lin Fei saw Zhang Jinle below. There were a few people beside him that he did not know. They seemed to be arrogant people and could not be bothered. Needless to say, they were all runes masters. After being followed outside, Lin Fei finally heaved a sigh of relief after returning to the temporary encampment. Tianxia was a powerful force, and he had to be on guard. The Rune Guild was a place that Tianxia would not dare to visit, even if they were given 100 guts. When Zhang Jinle saw Lin Fei, he said something and walked out. Little Lin, follow me. Lin Fei did not understand, but he quickly understood what was going on. Since he had nothing to do, it didn't matter if he listened. Sit. Don't stand on ceremony. Senior brother Zhang, were those runes masters just now? Zhang Jinle frowned slightly, as if he was worried about something. When he heard Lin Yun's words, he relaxed and said, Yes, they are our opponents this time. When he said the word opponent, his tone was obviously much more serious. It seems that the opponents this time are very powerful. Lin Fei asked casually, but in fact he was testing the waters. He was currently stuck in the great circle of the martial path and had yet to advance to the mystic realm unless he won the first place in the Tower of Runes. To complete the mission, Lin Fei naturally hoped that there would not be any experts. When he saw Zhang Jinle's expression, his heart skipped a beat. The situation did not seem right. As expected, Zhang Jinle looked worried. It is indeed so. Ever since he moved in, Zhang Jinle relied on the news to find out that the Tower of Runes this time around was a gathering of experts. Among the several branches, there were several genius disciples this year. It was not as good as the previous one, so it would be quite a problem to win the first place. This was also the reason why Zhang Jinle was worried. Under normal circumstances, Zhang Jinle should not say these things to Lin Fei, but Lin Fei's identity was different. When he set off, he knew that Lin Fei was the most confident in winning the first place. Chairman Mu said it himself, and no one dared to doubt it. There are a total of 10 branches in the Tower of Runes this time around. Among them, the Blackstone Rune Guild is the most powerful. They have a peak rank 3 runes master with an extremely powerful spiritual force. In addition, the Qingshan Rune Guild is also extremely powerful and is also an extremely strong competitor. You are the last disciple of Chairman Mu, so this Rune Guild competition depends on you. Lin Fei was speechless. This was too direct. Senior brother Zhang is overpraising me. I will do my best. Zhang Jinle laughed dryly. He also knew that what he said just now was not very appropriate. If outsiders knew about it, they would think that he had no confidence in the person he was leading. This is some information I have collected. Take it back and have a look so that you can be prepared. Back in his room, Lin Fei opened the information and looked at it. Qin Tian, 16 years old, peak rank 3 runes master with a powerful spiritual force. He is a worthy opponent, but I don't know if he cultivates in spiritual force. There is also this Lu Yan. She is young and also very young. When the time comes, she will also be a big threat. I just don't know how the Tower of Runes competition will be conducted. Putting down the information in his hands, Lin Fei started thinking. Currently, he was also a rank 3 runes master. On the surface, that was the case, but in fact he was stronger than any other rank 3 runes master, especially his spiritual force, which was not something that others could compare to. According to his calculations, his spiritual force should be as strong as a rank 4 runes master. He was not afraid of them. However, there was always a chance. Lin Fei had to prepare in advance. If he lost, it would have a huge impact. After putting down his thoughts, Lin Fei thought about what to do next. Ever since he was followed by Tianxia's spies, an inexplicable crisis shrouded him. Mountain River City had become a dangerous place. Lin Fei could not help but worry. On the day he entered the city, after witnessing the majestic appearance of Tianxia, it proved one thing. Tianxia was very powerful, so powerful that they had such a great influence in Mountain River City. Lin Fei had to be on guard. The only fortunate thing was that Tianxia did not know his trump card for the time being. This undoubtedly gave him an opportunity to make them lower their guard. However, this matter would not last long. Once they found out about what happened in Guiyuan City, they would definitely assassinate him. Time passed by in a flash. During the day and night, Lin Fei basically stayed in his room and did not go out. Other than doing research, he would go to the virtual space to study and study. Today, Lin Fei woke up very early. The Tower of Runes competition began today. This day was very important to Lin Fei. Success or failure depended on this. Whether he could complete the mission and advance to Mystic Realm was extremely important to him. With the strength of great perfection, Lin Fei had the ability to fight against early and middle stage Mystic Realm experts. However, if he encountered many at the same time, he would be slightly inferior. Advancing to Mystic Realm was the key. In addition to excitement, the other disciples were also very excited. Their chance to compete had come. Early in the morning, Zhang Jinle led a group of people to the headquarters of the Rune Guild. Of course, the headquarters of the Rune Guild was actually the headquarters of a county city. The place that everyone is looking at now is the Tower of Runes that we are competing for this time. Zhang Jinle led them into a spacious field. The towering and pitch-black Tower of Runes stood in front of them, exuding a different kind of color. Seeing the towering Tower of Runes, everyone felt a sense of pride, the pride of being a runes master. In fact, any runes master would have a sense of pride for their identity, a sense of pride that others could not have. Senior Brother Yin, today you will definitely get first place. Senior Brother Yin, you can do it. The competition had not yet started, but some people could not help but start cheering. Yun Fei was immensely proud of himself. He deliberately glanced at Lin Fei. Little did he know that in Lin Fei's eyes his expression was that of an idiot, but he himself did not know it. On the field, other than their Gui Yuan City branch, there were also 9 other rune guilds gathered. Everyone was competing for first place. Lin Fei, aren't you nervous? Lin Fei was very relaxed. He did not look nervous at all. This was completely different from others. Hearing Mu Ning's words, Lin Fei could not help but laugh. Actually, I am very nervous. Liar, Mu Ning burst out laughing. Why would you look so nervous? Lin Fei shrugged his shoulders. In any case, I am nervous. If you don't believe me, then forget it. Mu Ning did not intend to continue on this topic. She changed the topic. Do you see those 2 over there? Her jade-like fingers pointed at 2 people not far away. My opponents? Mu Ning snorted, looking unhappy. Can't you just pretend? It was not easy for me to hear this from my grandfather. Lin Fei obviously did not believe it. Mu Ning, this little demon girl, had never been so kind to help him. Perhaps there was some conspiracy behind it. Seeing Lin Fei's appearance, Mu Ning could not wait to grab him and chop him into 8 pieces. The one in white is Qin Tian. He is a real genius. There is also the beauty in red. She is your other opponent, Lu Yan. She was born with a powerful soul power. Lin Fei had a strange look in his eyes. What's wrong with you today? In fact, from the moment he stepped into this place, Lin Fei actually knew that those 2 people would be his opponents. Although from the aura that leaked out, they both had formidable strength. Of course, this was actually referring to the soul power. They all specialized in the Tao of runes. Without waiting for Mu Ning to speak, someone else spoke first, interrupting Mu Ning's words. Miss Mu, I trust you have been well since we last met. Chapter 201. Woman? Lin Fei reacted quickly and thought, Miss Lu, you have become more flirtatious since the last time we met. I wonder which family's young master is so lucky. Mu Ning's words were filled with anger. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that there was something going on between the 2. Unexpectedly, the woman was very calm at this time. She twisted her waist and giggled. I also want to find an ideal husband. Unfortunately, so far no one has caught my eye. Sister Ning, how about introducing one to me? These 2 people had a grudge. Lin Fei turned around and immediately saw the woman in red. Her every frown and smile carried a seductive flavor, especially her proud twin peaks, as if they would jump out in the next second and breathe the fresh air outside. So big, so perky. Ever since he crossed over to the Xiantian continent, Lin Fei was busy running for his life and gave up many hobbies. Now that he finally had the ability to protect himself, he would recall his hobbies on Earth from time to time. For example, beautiful women. What did this girl eat to grow up? She looks like she is at least 30-60. Is she not afraid of gravity? Lu Yan looked young and seemed to be about the same age as Mu Ning. But there was a big difference between the 2. Mu Ning was a young and attractive young girl, while Lu Yan was a mature woman. If she wore black stockings, she would look even more attractive. Therefore, if it was anyone else, their eyes would fall on Lu Yan. When 2 beautiful women met, the size of the breasts and temperament determined the men's eyes. As soon as Lu Yan opened her mouth, it was no less than throwing a bomb. Those with weak willpower had already revealed the appearance of a perverted man, almost drooling. As for those with better willpower, they pretended to be a gentleman. But in fact, their eyes were always on Lu Yan. Lu Yan saw the changes of the people around her. Humph, little girl, you are too tender. Mu Ning also noticed the changes of her fellow apprentices and sighed inwardly. She was just a woman. Why did they have to show such a look? Did you not see a woman? Both of them were facing each other with equal harshness. Mu Ning was obviously inferior to Lu Yan. Miss, I am Yunfei from the Rune Guild. Nice to meet you. May I have the honor to know your name? Yunfei came out with a gentleman's face. Lu Yan's eyes were like silk, exuding a charming aura. I am Lu Yan. Yunfei, what are you doing? Mu Ning was very unhappy. She felt even more disgusted with Yunfei in her heart. On the contrary, it was Lu Yan who shook her chest and revealed a victorious smile. Yunfei said with a smile, Senior Mu, we are communicating. Lin Fei didn't say anything. Lu Yan belonged to the category of mature sisters. For him, she was just a beautiful woman who was pleasing to the eye, but not to the extent of taking the initiative to visit him. This was not because Lin Fei had high standards, but because he had unknowingly developed a different idea after cultivating. Lu Yan was indeed a good woman. Compared with the beauties of the future generations, the gap between them was like heaven and earth. One was a real beauty, while the other was a beauty with makeup. After Lin Fei laughed, Lin Fei's expression changed. Yunfei looked very unhappy. Similarly, Lu Yan's beautiful eyes flashed with a strange color. No one knew what she was thinking. Junior brother Lin, what do you mean by this? Lin Fei laughed. I think the weather is good today. Smiling more is good for your body. Yunfei almost cursed it out loud. Brat, no one would think you were mute if you didn't speak. This is... Suddenly Lu Yan asked. Yunfei said, he is a disciple of our guild. His name is Lin Fei. He doesn't do proper things all day. Don't mind him. With such a good opportunity, Yunfei certainly didn't mind stepping on him. A bumpkin wanted to attract the attention of a beauty. Dream on, don't even think about it. Oh, so it's like this? Lu Yan asked. Mu Ning glared at Yunfei, and then turned to Lin Fei and said, Grandpa is coming, let's go! After that, Mu Ning pulled Lin Fei's hand. F***CK, what's going on? Lin Fei was dumbfounded. Indeed, he didn't expect that Mu Ning would take the initiative to hold his hand. But then again, Mu Ning's hand was very soft and very comfortable. Smooth and tender. The actions of Mu Ning and Lin Fei fell into the eyes of the guild disciples. All of them showed an expression of sudden realization. So it was like this. Miss Lu, my senior sister is like this. Yunfei's eyes flashed with a touch of coldness, but he still pretended to be indifferent. Miss Mu is very interesting. I don't care. But in Lu Yan's heart there was a question. What is the background of that young man that made Mu Ning act like this? Brat, can you let go? Mu Ning took Lin Fei to the corner and suddenly gritted her teeth. Lin Fei was very innocent that you were holding my hand. I didn't take advantage of you. Mu Ning looked down and her face turned red, all the way to the back of her ears. She hurriedly shook off her hand and then fiercely said, Don't let your imagination run wild. At this time, Mu Ning's chest gently trembled, looking very cute. Lin Fei's eyes moved away from Mu Ning and thought, So Mu Ning's figure is also very good. Actually, you don't need to care about that, Lu Yan. Lin Fei said, Your figure is not bad at all. I think it's very good. Mu Ning anxiously said, What nonsense are you talking about? I'm not. Not knowing why, after hearing Lin Fei's words, Mu Ning suddenly felt guilty and did not dare to look at him. She hurriedly turned around and left. Looking at her back, Lin Fei could still smell the residual fragrance on her hand. This chick, they are here. The presidents of the Rune Guild are here. After a short wait, along with their appearance, the scene was stirred and everyone could not remain calm. The Runes Tower competition was an opportunity for them, a great opportunity, an opportunity to make a name for themselves, at least in the Rune Guild. That person over there is Qin Tian, today's biggest opponent. Senior brother Yang Yi is also a powerful seed opponent. The big beauty Lu Yan, don't ignore her. Everyone began to discuss and looked at each other with a look of worship. After all, the masters of runes were all worthy of worship. In addition to worship, there was also a kind of fighting spirit, and on the high platform, 10 guild leaders and 2 elders formed a special scene. President Heisher, you have arranged a genius this time. Isn't this making us feel pressured? An old man touched his chin and said, President He sure brought a genius disciple, Qin Tian. Although he was young, he had a strong capital. Before the competition even started, he already made people feel great pressure. Many presidents looked at him with different gazes, full of jealousy and envy. The appearance of a genius could change the reputation of a guild. For example, 5 years ago, when a returning guild took first place, their influence suddenly increased. Many experts appeared in the guild, suppressing many other guilds. Luck. President He sure laughed. His words were humble, but in fact he was very proud. As if the first place was already in the bag, it was not a problem. Chairman Mu, this year I will be embarrassed to take away the Runes Tower. Last time, it was the returning guild who took first place. This time, they were not optimistic about the returning guild. Yun Fei's disciple seemed to have a good aptitude, but it would be difficult for him to take first place. Mu Changkong acted like a good person. Then I will have to congratulate you. But everyone could tell that Mu Changkong was not congratulating him. From his tone, it seemed like he wanted to see a joke. Could it be that the returning guild had another genius that could suppress everyone and take first place? They did not believe it, but the chances were not high. In the previous competition, they lacked experts. In these 5 years, they had been searching for geniuses and nurturing them. This year's competition for the Runes Tower had far more experts than the previous competition, so they could not help but be concerned. Mu Changkong did not care much. He had a smile on his face, and no worries could be seen. Between the two elders, one of them walked out. Both of them were the judges this time, and they were the more serious ones. First, the elder stood up and made a speech. The content was nothing more than the competition for the Runes Tower, and killing was not allowed. If anyone dared to violate the rules, they would be killed on the spot. This was the first warning. The second was to announce the rules of the competition for the Runes Tower. Many of them had an "I knew it" expression on their faces. The rules were exactly the same as the previous time, and there was no change. They were given a fair chance. The Runes Tower had a total of 9 floors. Each floor had the pressure of the runes, and each floor was heavier than the one before it. Once one could not withstand it, they would be automatically teleported out and lose their qualification. Whoever persisted the longest would be the first this year, and could take away the Runes Tower. Of course, this competition was also a test for the Runes Masters. If one could pass the test, there was no doubt that they would gain great benefits. Therefore, many people would advance their level in it every time. It sounded simple, but it was very difficult to execute. Although killing was not allowed inside, there were still all kinds of fights. After the rules were announced, someone immediately took out the Runes Teleportation Talisman. This Runes Teleportation Talisman was a special type of teleportation talisman. It was limited to the area of the Runes Tower. Once one could not withstand it, one could use the power of one's soul to activate it, and one could be teleported out immediately. Of course, this also meant that one would lose the qualification for the competition. Teleportation talisman, the production is not bad. Lin Fei flipped it up and down and came to a conclusion. Through continuous learning in the virtual space, Lin Fei had accumulated a lot of knowledge on runes. The teleportation talisman looked difficult, but in his eyes it was nothing. The most professional learning, the most professional production. Even a stupid pig could complete it. After keeping the teleportation talisman, Lin Fei looked at the Runes Tower, full of fighting spirit. How many floors could he reach? The competition begins. A teleportation door appeared out of thin air below the Runes Tower. It was opened by the Runes Elder. 10 rune guilds were teleported in one by one. A thrilling scene began. At the same time, outside, a canopy of runes slowly opened. The light spots that appeared were the internal distribution of the Runes Tower. Currently, everyone was on the first floor, and no one had reached the second floor yet. Lin Fei, do your best. Chapter 202. Whoosh whoosh. When Lin Fei entered the rune's pagoda, all he saw was gray. At the same time, an invisible pressure pressed down like a mountain, almost crushing him. This pressure was insignificant to the current Lin Fei and did not have much effect. It is indeed novel to use this method to compete. After entering the first level of the rune's pagoda, Lin Fei was not in a hurry to set off. Instead, he rested on the spot. Outsiders looked like they were resting, but in fact, they were observing the rune's pagoda and understanding the knack of it so that they would not suffer any losses. From time to time, disciples of the runes would appear. After entering, they would immediately set off to the next level after a little discomfort. They seemed to be in a hurry to settle down. A bunch of fools. Sooner or later, they will regret it. Outside, a group of presidents sat on the high platform. Their eyes were all looking at the sky screen of the runes, where they could see the distribution of positions. 1 hour later, on the sky screen of the runes, someone entered the second level of the runes pagoda. This year's batch, everyone's strength is not bad. Someone entered the second level so quickly. I believe it will be very interesting this time. Entering the third level is the real start. Everyone should rest up and watch slowly. Those present were all experienced experts. The competition had just begun, and the first 3 levels were for preparation. From the 4th level onwards, it was the most effective time. Generally, it would take at least 5 or 6 days to determine the winner. It was only the first day, and there was indeed no need to worry. At the same time, outside the rune's pagoda was in a pavilion around the rune's pagoda. Lord Deacon, I have arranged everything. This kid from the Lin family will become a cripple even if he doesn't die. In order to get rid of him, I have specially given them a set of runes array. No matter how strong that kid is, he will still be trapped. The deacon was a middle-aged man with a ferocious-looking face. He was a good friend of Wu Shixiang. Since his good friend had left and never returned, and Lin Fei's appearance in the mountain river city, Tianxia's huge information system was the first to know about it. Therefore, this good friend of Wu Shixiang took over the mission. Tianxia didn't dare to kill a disciple of the runes openly. They couldn't afford to offend the Rune Guild of Mountain River City, not even the higher-ups. Just because they could not afford to offend him did not mean that they would not take action. Tianxia could not afford to lose face like this. In order to deal with Lin Fei, Zhao Xing spent a lot of effort and finally thought of a way to interfere in the competition for the runes. He bribed the disciples of the runes and prepared to cripple Lin Fei. He couldn't kill Lin Fei, but he could heavily injure him and cripple him. Once anyone was crippled, no matter how useful they were, they would become worthless. The Rune Guild would naturally not pay attention to a worthless person. At that time, killing that kid would be a piece of cake. Good. You did a good job on this matter. This is what I should do. The 2nd floor of the rune's tower, the 3rd floor of the rune's tower, the 4th floor of the rune's tower. 3 days passed in a flash. People appeared on the 4th floor of the rune's tower and began to compete fiercely. The pressure on each floor began to increase several times. When he entered the 4th floor, Lin Fei was under great pressure. If he wasn't prepared, he would probably be pressed down and unable to move. This was the real meat of the show. After exploring for so many days, it's time to show my strength. I can't let others take the first place. I still need to rely on this mission to advance to Xian, Qi practitioner. Lin Fei took a deep breath and operated the 9 revolutions mysterious art. His body stood straight and headed towards one of the positions. At the same time, the battle on this floor also began. The 4th floor of the rune's tower was very large. Everyone was distributed in a wide area. Some people stood still and sweated profusely. Obviously, they couldn't get used to it all at once. That was why people outside said that the 4th floor was the real key. Those who were weak would be eliminated. Wave after wave of elimination. Those who were left were the true elites. What are you guys doing? In one of the corners, 3 disciples of the rune's tower were surrounded. They seemed very angry and roared at the other party. Nothing. We just want to send you guys out. Don't talk nonsense with them. Let's do it. Swish, swish, swish. Ice mountains, fire rain, earth spikes. Instantly they were all covered. The pressure on the 4th floor of the rune's tower was great. Those who could fight weren't weak and could be considered the elites of this floor. Rumble. They all disappeared from where they were. 3 people appeared outside in a sorry state. It turned out that they couldn't bear it and were all beaten out. They only suffered minor injuries. These people all had a look of shame on their faces, especially the president's gaze. Everyone saw that they were beaten out. This was also a strategy. The president couldn't say anything about this method. He couldn't say that they were inferior. This scene kept appearing in the rune's tower. From the 4th floor onwards, people would be sent out from time to time. The competition became more intense. The fight for the first place seems to be very intense. Lin Fei said to himself. When the 2 people in front of him stopped him, Lin Fei knew what they were planning. Kid, are you going to leave by yourself, or do you want us to send you out? The 2 people in front of him laughed coldly. They were from the Blackstone Guild. In order to take down the rune's tower, they had sent out their experts to guard the entrance and chase the people from the opposing guilds out. The results were good, and they managed to chase quite a number of people out. When they saw a lazy person appear, they jumped out and were prepared to chase him out. Lin Fei shook his head. I don't like to be sent out. I like to send you guys out. Courting death. Do it. The 2 of them were enraged. They took out their talismans from their robes and attacked Lin Fei. Both of them were level 2 runes masters. When they attacked together, the power was not weak. However, they encountered Lin Fei. They were unlucky. When the runes were torn apart, they felt a pain in their stomachs. They instantly realized that they had been sent flying. They didn't even know how they lost. Expert. Kid, you're good. Let's wait and see. They felt depressed that they couldn't defeat such an expert. They had encountered such an expert. They knew how many experts there were in the 10 guilds, but they had never seen this person before. After they left, Lin Fei frowned. The pressure of the runes also affects my speed. I wonder what the lower floors are like. When he used his movement technique just now, he vaguely felt that he was restricted. It was as though he was stuck. 5th floor of the rune's tower. 6th floor of the rune's tower. On the 5th day, the distribution of the rune's tower was already clear. There were a total of 3 floors. The first batch entered the 6th floor and began to slow down. The second batch was stuck on the 5th floor, and the last batch was stuck on the 4th floor. There were a total of 10 people stuck on the 6th floor. It was clear that every guild had experts. Those who could enter this floor had to have the strength of a level 3 runes master. The previous top ranker had stopped at the 7th floor. Looking at the situation this year, he might be able to enter the 8th floor. Of course, this was just their imagination. As for whether they could succeed or not, it would depend on the situation. Some of them were happy, while others were worried. Mu Changkong was one of them. He looked at the Blackstone Guild with a hint of anger. Brat, what are you trying to do? From the feedback, Mu Changkong knew that Lin Fei had been stuck on the 5th floor and had yet to enter the 6th floor. He could not help but suspect that he was not strong enough. In this competition for the rune's tower, Mu Changkong had placed a lot of hope on Lin Fei. He believed that Lin Fei would be able to take first place, but the current situation made him feel dissatisfied. Fortunately, Mu Ning and Yun Fei had successfully entered the 6th floor, which made Mu Changkong feel slightly relieved. From the 6th floor of the rune's tower, runes crystals will be produced. I hope they won't miss this opportunity. At the same time, on the other side, the president of the Blackstone Guild was very pleased. This time they had used a strategy. Currently, there were 3 disciples who had entered the 6th floor. While he was happy, another matter gave him a headache. There was actually a disciple under Mu Changkong who was quite strong. He did not need to use runes to beat them out. However, he could not recall such a person. Could it be a secret trump card? Hence, he looked at Mu Changkong with a strange gaze. 6th floor of the runes tower. Mu Ning and Yun Fei were gathered together. On this floor, everyone could not move quickly. They were limited by the pressure of the runes. The faster they moved, the greater the pressure on their bodies and minds. Runes crystals. When a white light appeared in the dusky space, it immediately attracted their attention. When the rules were announced, they remembered that once they entered the 6th floor, runes crystals would be produced. This was a good thing. Runes crystals belonged to a special category. They were specifically used to train the power of the soul. Hence, runes crystals were very valuable. Other than the runes tower, they were also produced in the crystal vein. Of course, a place like Mountain River City did not have this ability for the time being. One could imagine the price of runes crystals. No one knew who shouted this, but everyone went crazy. The strength of a runes master lies in the improvement of the soul. With such an opportunity in front of them, they would not let go of such a good opportunity. In an instant, everyone took action to snatch the runes crystals. Senior Mu, let's do it together. Yun Fei was very proud. If he could not see the annoying bumpkin, he could not be in a bad mood. You don't need to tell me, I know myself. Not knowing why, Mu Ning did not give Yun Fei a good look. Her eyes swept around from time to time, but she could not see Lin Fei. It was as if something was missing. Junior Mu, we want these runes crystals first. Qin Tian, the white-clothed gentleman, stood beside 2 helpers, staring at them like a tiger watching its prey. Who owns the runes crystals is not something that can be decided with words. We will only know after we try. 6th floor of the runes tower. The competition was extremely fierce. The appearance of the runes crystals gave them a chance to snatch. At the same time, it was also a kind of practice. At the same time, Lin Fei, who was on the 5th floor, was surrounded by 4 people at this time. The situation did not look good. Such great hostility, when did I offend them? Since the pressure of the runes crystal had a limit on the speed of the body, Lin Fei had an idea to use it to hone the speed of the body. If he could be as smooth as a fish under the pressure of the runes crystal, it would be of great help to him. Lin Fei usually did not use the concept. At least for the time being, he would not use it to avoid being discovered. Walking and stopping halfway on the 5th floor, Lin Fei encountered 4 people who intercepted him. These 4 people were all level 3 runes masters, and they were very hostile towards him. In their hostility, there seemed to be a blood feud. Lin Fei was the most speechless. I have not done anything bad recently. Why are you surrounding me? Who are you? I don't think we have any grudges, right? The 4 people around him stood in a formation, trapping Lin Fei in it. We have no grudges, but you will stay here today. Do it. The 4 of them did not say much. They opened their mouths and spat out talisman runes. The 4 talisman runes fused together to form an inescapable net that looked down from above, and a mysterious power covered Lin Fei's body. Good Lord, this is the runes formation. Lin Fei was shocked. The runes formation was more than a few times more powerful than individual runes, and the price of the runes formation was also a terrifying figure. If they took out the runes formation to attack, Lin Fei would not be surprised. However, they took out the runes formation, which was completely different, especially since they were tight-lipped and did not speak any nonsense. It was obvious that they had the intention to kill him. Just one look was enough to tell that this runic array was no ordinary runic array. Once one was trapped inside, it would be very troublesome. At this moment, Lin Fei also knew that he had to make a move. He had to escape first and capture them. He was not afraid that he would not be able to find out who the mastermind was. When he was a few dozen feet away, he used his palm as a blade and slashed out 2 blade lights. The blade lights landed on the net and were actually disintegrated, losing their offensive power. What a tough runes formation. Even the protective aura of an early-stage mystic realm expert could not withstand my blade lights. It actually can't break this inexplicable runes formation. This was the first time that Lin Fei dealt with the runes formation. It was the first time that the sharp and overbearing blade lights lost their effect. Kid, this is the inescapable net. No matter how powerful your blade lights are, don't even think about breaking it. One of them laughed out loud. To specially use the inescapable net to deal with a martial artist who was not even a mystic realm expert, it was really strange. Who asked this inescapable net to come from above? They could not refuse it and did not feel the pinch, even if they used it. So it's the inescapable net. Lin Fei knew the origin of this runes formation. No wonder it could withstand his blade light attack. It was no wonder that it had such a great reputation. The runes formation was also divided into 9 levels. The first level formation was the most common, and the 9th level formation was the highest. The inescapable net was a 2nd level formation. Its biggest function was to trap the enemy. It was very tough. Once trapped, it would be impossible to break out. It was one of the most commonly used tools for sneak attacks. This was also the reason why they were so at ease. Under the inescapable net, it would only take a word to cripple a kid at the 9th level of the martial Tao. Chapter 203. They did have the confidence to make a move. Unfortunately, they forgot one thing. Lin Fei was not an ordinary person. Not to mention Lin Fei, who comprehended the state of wind. The inescapable net looked very dangerous, but in reality it was just that. It was not groundless. They just happened to meet their nemesis. Since they are so ruthless, don't blame me for being merciless. I will capture them first. I will not be afraid of not knowing who is behind this. At that time, they will have a good time. Lin Fei was famous for his good temper. At least he thought so. However, a good temper did not mean that he would let others trample on him. Once something crossed his mind, even if the other party was someone with a great background, he would still make a move for the sake of comfort. As the saying went, when things were clear, it meant that one's thoughts were clear. Lin Fei was not clear now, and needed to be clear. The best way was to capture them. You are not going to cripple me. I will get rid of you. First, to let you understand that formations are not the strongest. Using flowing wind movement technique, the pressure from the 5th floor of the runes pagoda only had a slight effect on the runes. Lin Fei swam like a small fish and used his palm as a saber to attack the person on the far left. Whoosh! The person on the left was a short runes master. He did not panic. He opened his mouth and spat out a white chi, which turned into a sword chi and pierced at Lin Fei's chest. What an exquisite attack! Lin Fei dodged to the side, and the white sword chi flew past him. The dangerous aura made him understand that the runes masters were not as simple as he thought. After the danger was avoided, it was Lin Fei's turn to make a move. Bang! Bang! Lin Fei's movement technique was like a phantom. Even without using his state, his speed was faster than before. That person's move failed, and he was immediately at a disadvantage. That sword chi was not very effective, so of course he suffered a backlash. Profound underworld sword. Lin Fei's ears twitched as he sensed a dangerous aura coming from behind him. With a flip of his hand, he sent out 2 saber lights. At the same time, 2 dang-dang sounds could be heard. It turned out that he had used his soul to control the sword. Another name for godly soul, sword manipulation, was godly soul manipulation. It was mysterious and unfathomable. Apart from runes masters, no one else could master it. Similarly, spiritual manipulation was the strongest killer move of a runes master, second only to the spiritual attack. The blade glow shattered the netherworld sword, but it did not dissipate the other side's attack. The cold aura locked onto Lin Fei and once again turned into a black shadow, as if it wanted to pierce a bloody hole through Lin Fei. Good heavens, this is clearly a homing missile. The attack just now happened in the time it takes for a spark to fly off a flint. It was unbelievably fast. No one would be able to reach such a level if they encountered it. Let's get out of here first. As the inescapable net descended, Lin Fei dashed out to avoid the attack first. As expected, the four of them have great teamwork. In the previous probe, the four of them defended as one. While defending, they attacked continuously. It's quite difficult to deal with them. Lin Fei appeared to be very relaxed. The four of them did not feel good either. According to the information, Lin Fei's strength was limited. In the previous exchange, there was an indescribable pressure. The godly soul manipulation did not carry any killing intent. Who would have thought that the other party seemed to have eyes behind his back, actually dodging right under their eyes? They could not help but become serious. Luckily, they had the inescapable net. Seal. Trap. Lin Fei's actions were seen by the four of them. They could not help but reveal a victorious smile. If Lin Fei continued to tangle with them, it would not be easy to deal with him. However, if he gave up on attacking, then the unlucky one would be Lin Fei. The originally vertical inescapable net expanded infinitely, turning into a true inescapable net. The area it covered expanded infinitely. Even if Lin Fei's speed was shocking, he was still trapped below. Don't try to escape. Under the inescapable net, everything is a waste of effort. Why not surrender obediently? There is no meaning in resisting. As the leader this time, Zhao Gang said with an expressionless face. Everyone knew how powerful the level 2 array formation, inescapable net was. I never admit defeat. The inescapable net is just a powerful trap. But what if it is broken? Suddenly, Lin Fei, who was running, stopped like a speeding car, revealing a strange smile. In their eyes, it was as if he was about to admit defeat after exhausting everything. Would Lin Fei admit defeat? Of course it was impossible. A mere inescapable net against Lin Fei, who had the theory of runes, was no different from displaying one slight skill in front of an expert. Inescapable net break. Lin Fei shot out with a long blade in his hand. It was the dragon slaughtering saber in the middle stage of the mortal grade. With a slash, it was as if he wanted to pierce through the inescapable net. Humph, you overestimate yourself. You think you can break through the inescapable net by relying on a middle stage mortal rank weapon? You're talking nonsense. The inescapable net belonged to the runes formation. Even a great expert of the late stage of the profound realm would be helpless against it. They did not believe that a mere brat would be able to break through the inescapable net. The long blade in the middle stage of the mortal rank made them have quite a bit of desire. If they couldn't use it themselves, they could sell it outside for a lot of silver and exchange it for runes materials. Rushing Thunderblade technique. The blade light was like a white light. The white light was like a net of blades interweaving into one. The blade chi filled the air, revealing a terrifying aura. No one noticed how astonishing the speed of Lin Fei's attack just now was. Crash. When the dense, inescapable net met the blade light, it was like a broken fishing net. It actually strangely cracked open, and the inescapable net above his head instantly lost its effect. The inescapable net is only SOSO. Lin Fei coldly snorted, went straight to the point, and slashed at Zhao Gang, who was using his divine soul to control the sword. It's broken? Impossible. How could he break the inescapable net? Two of them couldn't remain calm. The inescapable net was something that even a late-stage mystic realm cultivator couldn't break. But today they saw something different about Lin Fei. Dang, dang, dang. Zhao Gang was the fastest to turn around. His mind was overwhelmed with shock. The netherworld sword turned into a black rainbow in front of him, and he retreated. Such great strength. Lin Fei had long targeted this divine soul sword expert. After taking care of this person, the other three were only SOSO, and defeating them would be as easy as flipping his palm. Let's see how many times you can block. After comprehending the concept, his blade technique was better than before. Like an antelope hanging its horn, it was more amazing. Rune's masters were considered ranged opponents. Once they were closed in, their battle strength would be greatly reduced, like Zhao Gang, whose divine soul sword was blocked. Earth would spike, rumble. Within the radius of Lin Fei, thick earth spikes appeared, trying to block the attack and gain an opportunity for their heads. Once they pulled away, the divine soul sword would definitely make Lin Fei suffer. Would Lin Fei give them a chance? Of course not. Go. Lin Fei turned around and slashed out 3 blade lights, turning into 3 tornadoes, rumbling over. The hard earth spikes in front of the tornadoes were turned into powder by the blade lights. The tornadoes were actually formed by the blade light, the metal attribute of the blade light. The power was naturally extraordinary. Ever since he comprehended the concept of wind. After the fusion of this move, the lethality had increased by more than a few times. No matter how strong the physical body was, it would definitely be turned into powder under this move. This move was fast and fierce, naturally not something they could have expected. This move exceeded the scope of the 9 heavens of the martial path. Even if it was a mystic realm cultivator, they would not be able to produce such a powerful move. Puff, puff, puff. After 3 consecutive groans, the 3 runes masters fell to the ground, injured and lost the ability to fight. Zhao Gang's pupils shrank, knowing that the information was wrong. Lin Fei was more powerful than the information said. Just the attack just now made him feel a sense of danger. The trouble is solved. Now it's your turn. Clang, clang. Zhao Gang retreated, cold sweat appearing on his forehead. Damn it, didn't he use up his strength? Such a big move just now, it should have consumed a lot of Qianqi. He had mastered the soul-driving sword. He could exhaust Lin Fei to death. The final winner would definitely be him. In that moment of hesitation, Lin Fei's attack came like a storm. Zhao Gang actually could not find an opportunity to attack, his face gradually turning pale. The soul-driving sword consumed the power of the soul. Zhao Gang could only use the soul-driving sword by coincidence. Facing such an attack, the power of the soul was rapidly consumed. The nether sword in front of him swayed, as if it would be sent flying in the next second. Zhao Gang finally understood what kind of enemy he had encountered. I can't go on like this, that brat Lin Fei. His aura is gradually getting stronger. If this goes on, the one who loses will definitely be me. I have to use my ultimate move. Another attack came down. The nether sword swayed again. Zhao Gang also spat out a mouthful of blood. After Lin Fei comprehended the concept, his attacks merged with the wind. The consumption of Qianqi was controlled. He could accurately use every bit of power, which was why there was such a violent attack. Nether kill. The attack missed. The nether sword actually turned into a black shadow. With a whoosh, it stabbed in front of Lin Fei. Humph. So what if your attack is powerful? You still can't block my attack. You will still suffer under my hands. Zhao Gang's body swayed. The nether kill was an explosive attack from the soul-driving sword. It consumed a lot of the power of the soul. It could be said that if this attack failed, the one who lost would be him. This was something that could not be helped. Lin Fei was too strong. If this continued, the one who lost was destined to lose. Zhao Gang could only use this move to take a risk, striving for a perfect reversal. Suffer? You should be the one suffering, right? The disdainful voice behind Zhao Gang's ear was like a slap to the face. The cold blade landed on his throat. It was as if the other party's hand would take his life. Why are you fine? It was unknown when Lin Fei had appeared behind him, but he did not seem to be injured. How could Lin Fei explain that he executed the concept of wind at the crucial moment, dodging the fatal attack? You shouldn't be asking this. You should be thinking about how to survive. Zhao Gang's quick defeat caused the other 3 to reveal expressions of disbelief. They all knew how powerful the soul-driving sword was. How could he be defeated so quickly? Since when did the 9th layer of the martial path become so strong? Zhao Gang was unable to digest this news. He actually lost his life in the hands of others. His body slumped to the ground, losing the support of his soul. His body was already extremely weak. Chapter 204. Defeating the Four Runes Division. Lin Fei was touched and almost fell into the opponent's trap. If he had not gone to the virtual space to learn runes theory, runes divine ability, and runes production, he might have failed miserably today. Breaking the inescapable net was by using the runes theory. With the upgrade system, he could easily detect the flaws of the formation. The previous attack looked like an attack to outsiders, but in fact, it was Lin Fei breaking the flaws of the formation. In order to break the flaws, he had spent a lot of points. As for the final attack of the soul, Lin Fei relied on the concept of wind. If he had not comprehended the concept, he would have been injured from the sudden attack. Lin Fei did not dare to kill the Four Runes Division. The Rune Guild was huge, and he could not afford to offend them for the time being. Fortunately, he did not leak much previously, so he was not afraid of them noticing anything. The most important thing now was to find out who attacked him. Lin Fei did not like to be schemed by others, especially after what he had just experienced. They could interfere in the Rune Guild's Runes Tower battle, so Lin Fei had no choice but to care. Lin Fei, you are amazing. We admit defeat this time. Zhao Gang spat out such a sentence, weakly. This meant that they had admitted defeat. Now that their lives were in the hands of Lin Fei, Zhao Gang was just entrusted by others, so there was no need to make things difficult for himself. As long as Lin Fei did not kill them, they would not do anything wrong in the future. Sheathing his long saber, he said coldly, "Tell me, who ordered you to come?" Originally, Lin Fei thought that he would at least have to torture him, but it seemed that there was no need to do so. This person was more honest, which saved him a lot of trouble. Tianxia. Zhao Gang spat out these 3 words, but the surrounding temperature suddenly dropped. Lin Fei already had a guess in his heart. When he heard the 3 words Tianxia, a cold light flashed in his eyes. Tianxia again, really pervasive, even interfering in the Runes Tower battle. Is there anyone else besides you? Zhao Gang thought that Lin Fei would be enraged, but he realized that he had underestimated Lin Fei. For some reason, a strange thought popped up in his mind. Tianxia might be defeated by Lin Fei. Even he did not believe it. We only know that the 4 of us attacked you. As for the others, we don't know. Now that we've explained everything, can we leave now? It wasn't that they didn't want to crush their teleportation talismans, but that Lin Fei was too strong. Especially at such a close distance, they couldn't block his attacks. Lin Fei shook his head. You guys attacked me. Don't you want to pay the price and leave? I've worked so hard and wasted so much time, but you think it's so easy? If you don't squeeze benefits out of the other party, the name Lin Fei would have to be written backwards. I see that your divine soul-controlling object is not bad. I want this netherworld sword. Without any explanation, Lin Fei kept the netherworld sword. Previously, Zhao Gang's divine soul-controlling sword made Lin Fei feel that it was very powerful. It was a pity that he only had 1 netherworld sword. Its power wasn't that great, but it was still convenient to use. Divine soul-piercing was a divine soul ability that Lin Fei had mastered. He wouldn't use it unless it was a critical moment. The divine soul-controlling sword could be used as a cover. He had a strange idea in his mind. If he gathered a few swords, he could form a sword array, which would be even more powerful. Currently, his divine soul was incomparably powerful, completely surpassing Zhao Gang. Not to mention that he had cultivated the divine soul cultivation technique 9 heavens, spiritual energy. Zhao Gang didn't dare to say anything. The netherworld sword was his greatest trump card. If it was stolen, it would be equivalent to losing his greatest help. However, he understood that if he didn't agree, the other party wouldn't let him off easily. What about you guys? The 3 of them didn't expect that Lin Fei would be so overbearing, directly snatching Zhao Gang's netherworld sword. This was a middle-rank mortal sword. yet he snatched it just like that. What else could they have? They couldn't even reach the level of divine, soul-controlling sword. Seeing Lin Fei's gaze, their hearts turned cold. They clenched their teeth and took out something. Broken stone! It turned out that the three of them took out 2 stones that were emitting light. So it turned out that he was a country bumpkin who didn't even recognize Rune's crystals. They really didn't know how he became a runes master. Could it be that no one from the guild had ever taught him? Although they were thinking this in their hearts, they didn't dare to say it out loud. If they were seen, then they would be the unlucky ones. Lin Fei didn't know that his expression would cause them to have this kind of thought. When he saw their strange expressions, even though they hid it well, he still noticed it. Could it be the problem with the stone? When his gaze fell on it, Lin Fei came to a sudden realization. Rune's crystals! It must be Rune's crystals! Immediately, Lin Fei recalled the appearance of Rune's crystals. It was said that this was a type of crystal that could replenish divine soul energy. He knew more than just this. Other than replenishing consumed divine soul energy, Rune's crystals could also strengthen divine soul energy at the same time. This involved another matter. When participating in the competition for the Runes Tower, Zhang Zhenla had once reminded them that the Runes Tower would produce Runes crystals, so they had to be careful. My luck isn't bad. I obtained Runes crystals on the 5th floor of the Runes Tower. In order to survive, the 3 of them didn't dare to keep the Runes crystals. They didn't see Zhao Gang being snatched away, so what else could they do? They could only helplessly hand it over. At the same time, their hearts were filled with depression. If they knew that Lin Fei didn't know about the Runes crystals, they wouldn't have handed over the Runes crystals, even if they were beaten to death. You guys are lucky this time. The next time I meet you, I won't let you live with such a small amount of things. Lin Fei said coldly. Young Master Lin, don't worry. There won't be a next time when we are loyal to each other. Zhao Gang's heart was bleeding. Back then, in order to obtain the Netherworld sword, who knew how much effort he had put in. However, he could only watch helplessly as it was snatched away. He didn't dare to say anything, and the pain was unbearable. Only then did Lin Fei feel satisfied. Even if he chased them out of the 5th floor, they wouldn't dare to do anything. Playing with the Runes crystals in his hand, even though there were only 2 crystals, Lin Fei knew that the crystals in his hand would definitely be worth more than 10,000 gold outside. Tianxia intervened in the competition for the runes. I wonder if there are any in the next floor. I have to make preparations in advance. After experiencing the previous scene, Lin Fei's hatred for Tianxia was not small. Putting away the runes crystals, he took out the Netherworld sword and opened up the system to investigate. Netherworld sword, common middle grade, high killing power, suitable for sneak attacks. Back then, when he took the Netherworld sword, he thought that it was not a bad item. Now that he looked at it, he knew that it was a good item. Touching the surface of the sword, he felt a cold aura. The material was not bad, and it was indeed suitable for sneak attacks. Rise! Using his soul power to control the Netherworld sword, he stumbled at first, but a moment later the Netherworld sword turned into a formless and colorless shadow, shuttling through the sky. If Zhao Gang was here, he would definitely be shocked to see this scene. Back then, for the sake of using his soul to control the sword, he had bitterly trained for half a year before grasping it. It could be said that he had barely grasped it, and it was far from Lin Fei's level. That person's talent isn't good. If he had used the Netherworld sword to this level, it would have been much more difficult for me to deal with him. It wouldn't have been as easy as before. After controlling the Netherworld sword, Lin Fei was satisfied. Every time he used it, the consumption of his soul power wasn't much, and just as the system said, the Netherworld sword was suitable for sneak attacks. Return! The Netherworld sword turned into a stream of light and landed in his hand. He couldn't see any killing intent, but Lin Fei was clear that with this move, it would be much easier for him in the Runes Tower. Zhao Gang was teleported out. The 4 of them were gathered together. Brother Zhao, are we really going to let that stinky brat go? Zhao Gang stared at him. Nonsense, that fellow is too abnormal. My netherworld sword has always been successful against martial artists. That brat was an accident. We can't fight that brat alone. Brother Zhao's meaning is, we're just going to leave it like this? I don't think Lin Fei is easy to deal with. That attack just now was too fierce. Even I couldn't block it. Zhao Gang nodded. Let's not interfere in the matter between Tianxia and Lin Fei. We can't afford to offend them. If Zhao Gang saw Lin Fei use his soul to control the sword, he would probably thank himself for making the right choice. At least he wouldn't have offended such an abnormal person. 6th floor of the rune's tower. After staying on the 5th floor, Lin Fei rushed to the 6th floor. When he entered the 6th floor, a huge pressure descended and his strength was restricted. Lin Fei frowned. The 6th floor is the dividing line. My strength is restricted by quite a bit. Lin Fei used his soul again and discovered that there was no restriction. On the contrary, he felt like a fish in the water. Rune's tower, interesting. When advancing to the 5th floor, the pressure was not big. After the 6th floor, the pressure was not small. After adapting, Lin Fei increased his speed and rushed to the entrance of the 7th floor. At the same time, everyone outside was paying attention to the screen of the rune's tower. Haha! Someone entered the 7th floor. This time's first place should be that Qin Tian. President He sure stroked his beard, looking very satisfied. He glanced at Mu Chongkong proudly. Brother Mu, I've won you by a step. Mu Chongkong was very indifferent. The competition is not over yet. President He sure felt that his words fell through, like hitting cotton. He could not find anything to say and could only snort to express his dissatisfaction. Unbeknownst to him, Mu Chongkong was also worried. Could it be that he had seen wrongly? Another person entered the 7th floor. There are quite a lot of geniuses this year. Last time there was only one. This year there are 2. Maybe there are a few. Below there were also many exclamations. Compared to the previous year, there was a huge gap. It was hard to say who would be the winner. At the moment, it seemed that the Heisher Guild was the most confident. 7th floor of the rune's tower. This time's first place is definitely in my bag. Qin Tian was in high spirits. His straight body was like a towering tree as he walked up step by step. After the 7th floor, the pressure was huge. At this time, one could only rely on perseverance. Whoever persevered longer would be able to obtain first place. Behind him, a few runes masters revealed a complicated expression. At the same time, they had the thought of not admitting defeat. Chapter 205. Yunfei's strength was not bad. This time he managed to enter the 7th floor and was in a good mood. When he heard Qin Tian's words, he was naturally unhappy and mocked him. In the competition for the rune's tower, those who entered the 7th floor were all people with strong souls that could withstand the pressure of the runes. The reason for the 6th floor to compete for the rune's crystals was to replenish the soul consumption of the 7th floor. It could be said that whoever persisted the longest would be first. Yunfei's words were immediately echoed by others. Our senior sister Lu Yan didn't even say anything. Who do you think you are to take first place? That's right. First place depends on strength, not mouth. If everyone has the strength, why don't we continue forward? The 8th floor of the rune's tower is said to have many benefits. Whoever is lucky enough to enter the 8th floor will definitely become famous. Hiss! The 8th floor of the rune's tower. Everyone revealed a look of anticipation. They could not wait to enter the 8th floor. The 8th floor of the rune's tower had always been a mysterious existence. Very few people entered the 8th floor. As for the benefits of the 8th floor, no one knew. In Shanha County, no one had entered the 8th floor in the past 100 years. Even the strongest stayed on the 7th floor. If someone from a guild entered the 8th floor, their influence would definitely increase. Hearing this, everyone was filled with fighting spirit again. They really wanted to challenge the 8th floor. Qin Tian did not care about the words of the crowd. Currently, he stood at the forefront and said arrogantly, "Let's wait and see." From the beginning of the competition for the Rune's Tower, Qin Tian had set a goal for himself, which was to take first place. The situation was as expected, which was why he was able to take first place. Looking at the second person behind him, Qin Tian regarded her as his biggest enemy, Lu Yan, a member of the Qingshan Guild. As for the others behind her, Qin Tian did not care about them. The previous first place, the Gui Yuan Guild, was currently in 4th place, at least 100 zhang away from him. It was impossible for them to catch up to him. Therefore, Lu Yan was his enemy. Looking at Lu Yan, who had a smile on her face, Qin Tian could not see any dissatisfaction. The more she looked like, the more excited Qin Tian became. Senior brother Qin Tian, you have to be careful. Junior sister can surpass you at any time. Lu Yan giggled. He's seducing me again. Mu Ning looked back from time to time. She didn't know why she was so worried. Where did that brat go? Didn't he know how important this matter was? After being teleported in, Mu Ning had lost track of Lin Fei. Even now, she still couldn't see his shadow. She could only enter the 7th floor, but that was also her limit. In terms of perseverance, he might not be able to persevere to the end. In front of her was Qin Tian, Lu Yan, and behind her were a few others. Every one of them was stronger than her, so it would be very difficult to take first place. Thinking of that brat Lin Fei, she was filled with anger. She really didn't know where that brat ran off to. Behind him was Yun Fei. He had originally thought that Lin Fei would be his greatest enemy, but now it seemed that he was no match for him at all. Perhaps that brat had already been teleported out long ago. Seeing Mu Ning's appearance, Yun Fei was very dissatisfied. A country bumpkin like her wanted to participate in the competition. She deserved to be humiliated. He was the genius. He would take the first place. He would use his results to tell everyone that he was a true genius. Senior sister Mu, junior brother Lin Fei might have been teleported out. Yun Fei deliberately said this to make Mu Ning hate Lin Fei. He had seen the scene in the arena, but he couldn't find a way to deal with it. Now that he finally had a way, he naturally wouldn't miss it. Little did he know that after Yun Fei said this, Mu Ning's face turned cold. "If you don't speak, no one will think that you are mute." She turned around and walked forward, unwilling to take a step back. Yun Fei felt uncomfortable and cursed in his heart. "Slut, slut, isn't he just a country bumpkin? Wait until I take the first place. Let's see what you have to say. At that time, I'll definitely trample that country bumpkin to death." The 7th floor was limited to only a few people. After a day, the positions had changed greatly. In the first position was Qin Tian. He maintained his absolute advantage, but his face was pale and tired. Behind him was Lu Yan. The distance between them had also increased from 100 zhang to about 50 zhang. The third was a kid with the surname Qin, the 4th was Yun Fei, and the 5th was Mu Ning. The distance between them was quite big. If there were no accidents, the first position should be between Qin Tian and Lu Yan. Both of them were peak rank 3 runes masters and had runes crystals. Their advantages were quite big. The 7th floor, the last 2 positions were filled with sweat and were close to their limits. "It seems that we can only do this. I can't walk anymore. I really can't walk anymore." The pressure from the runes was like a mountain pressing down on them, making them uncomfortable. Every step they took consumed a lot of their mental energy. "You too, this direction is going to the 8th floor, right?" Just when the 2 were sighing, a person suddenly appeared beside them, scaring them. They had been in the 7th floor for a day. It was not easy for the people behind them to continue to come up, but now someone had actually caught up with them. This was 2. Just keep walking forward. One of them subconsciously answered, "Thank you." After saying that, that person strode out. Every step they took was filled with sweat. That person could almost be described as fast. In the blink of an eye, he had taken a few steps. Hey, someone just passed by. Someone should have passed by. Actually, both of them were scared silly. Since when had they seen someone walking so fast? At least, they had never seen someone who could catch up with them in a day. Who exactly was this person? The two relaxed their thoughts and were immediately teleported out. The person who asked for directions just now was naturally Lin Fei. On the 6th floor, after Lin Fei snatched a few pieces of runes crystals, he immediately rushed to the 7th floor. Only after entering the 7th floor did he know how scary this floor was. Every step he took was a huge pressure. Mooning and the rest should be in front. I should not be late. It's just that I don't know who are in front. Taking one step forward, Lin Fei thought. Although the pressure on the 7th floor was great, Lin Fei cultivated the 9 heavens of spiritual power, and his divine soul was stronger than anyone else. The pressure on the runes tower was greatly reduced. After advancing for a while, Lin Fei found that every step he took was very difficult. Another one was surpassed. Another one was surpassed. When Lin Fei rushed out like a dark horse, he surpassed the people in front one by one. The people in front could vaguely see his figure. F***CK, who is this? Where did this kid come from? Damn, it's the big dark horse. Those people all looked as if they had seen a ghost. It was not easy to surpass themselves on the 7th floor of the runes tower. But now that someone had caught up, they naturally could not accept it. If someone was more famous than them, they would naturally be convinced. They did not know Lin Fei, but he was stronger than them. Huff huff. Lin Fei let out a long breath. He's finally caught up. Along the way, Lin Fei finally experienced the power of the 7th floor. Using such a method to test, he really did not know who came up with it. What's happening behind? Mu Ning, who was in front, had been paying attention to the back. She did not believe that someone could catch up, but from the reaction behind, it seemed that something had happened. Someone is coming up? Mu Ning saw a blurry figure and could not help but be shocked. That genius from the guild can actually catch up. Is he a dark horse? It was no wonder that Mu Ning would have such an idea. Currently, those who could enter the 7th floor were generally level 3 runes masters with strong divine soul. After thinking for a while, Mu Ning thought that the other party was one of the people in the 7th floor. When the person revealed his face, Mu Ning was surprised and could not help but exclaim, "How come it's you?" The person in front of her was Lin Fei, who had been waiting for him. Mu Ning had never thought that Lin Fei would catch up. Seeing Lin Fei continuously coming up, she knew that it was not a dream. Lin Fei really came up. "Junior Mu, don't you want me to appear?" Lin Fei smiled, revealing his white teeth. Mu Ning snorted, "What are you doing? Don't you know that the competition for this runes tower is very fierce?" As soon as the words left her mouth, Mu Ning knew that she had said something wrong. She did not dare to raise her head to look at him, revealing a shy look of a little girl. Lin Fei did not take it to heart. "You also know that this is my first time participating. Of course, I won't be as fast as you guys. But don't worry, this year, I will definitely take first place." A sonorous and powerful sentence fell into Mu Ning's ears, making her feel very comfortable. "This is what you said." Mu Ning snorted. "That's for sure." Lin Fei would not say that he needed to advance this time. If he did not take first place, how could he complete the task and advance to first place? Then you should hurry up and go. Qin Tian is currently first. Mu Ning reminded. Lin Fei nodded. Let him take first place first. Catching up to that brat is just a matter of time. Mu Ning hated those who were glib. After hearing Lin Fei's words, she surprisingly did not get angry, as if what he said was very reasonable. Catching up to Qin Tian was indeed just a matter of time. Seeing that Mu Ning had stopped, Yun Fei felt strange. The difference between them was not big, and he could not see the situation in the dusky sky. Thinking that Mu Ning could not hold on, he snorted in his heart And here, I thought that you would be able to surpass me. Seems like it's just that. Currently, Yun Fei was in 4th place. Catching up to Qin Tian would not be a big problem. Even if he did not take a step forward, it would still be very difficult. Half an hour later. Senior brother Yun Fei, we meet again. Looking at your appearance, your speed is too slow. Who's talking? Yun Fei, subconsciously, looked to the left. What he saw made him break out in cold sweat. He saw the most unbelievable scene. Why are you here? Lin Fei said, why can't I be here? Yun Fei felt as if he was being pressed down by a mountain. Even if he was beaten to death, he would not believe that the country bumpkin had actually caught up to him. In his heart he had long since cursed. Damn that Lin Fei, how did he catch up to me? Could it be that I am inferior to a country bumpkin? Yun Fei could not refute Lin Fei's words. Why can't he be here? Yun Fei had always been proud. Ever since Lin Fei appeared as a senior brother, he had been in a depressed state. It was not easy for him to have a good performance. But who would have thought that this country bumpkin Lin Fei would run up to him? This was equivalent to him driving a BMW, and a tractor had caught up and overtaken him. Moreover, that person was someone he knew. How embarrassing! Yun Fei felt like killing himself. By the time he raised his head, Lin Fei had already appeared right in front of him. Seeing how the other party was taking one step at a time, not needing to pause or rest, Lin Fei gritted his teeth in frustration and spat out, "Freak!" Yun Fei himself had to take a break after taking a step. But this abnormal Lin Fei didn't need to rest. In this floor, there was no one else like him. Yun Fei, who had always wanted to show off in front of Lin Fei, completely gave up after seeing Lin Fei's ferocity. Lin Fei was not someone he could catch up to. Lin Fei was indeed like a dark horse. He surpassed the 3rd place. When he met the 2nd place, Lu Yan. Lu Yan was scared out of her wits. She found it hard to believe, but her ability to accept was still very fast. Junior brother Lin, you really hid your strength well. It turns out that you are the biggest dark horse. Lu Yan spat out such a sentence, proving Lin Fei's strength. Before, Lu Yan didn't put Lin Fei in her heart, but now she finally understood why Yun Fei would target Lin Fei. It turned out that Lin Fei was the real dark horse. Lin Fei shook his head. Average, average. Lu Yan originally had the confidence to compete for the 1st place, but the appearance of Lin Fei dispelled that idea. With Lin Fei there, the championship would not be easy. With junior brother Lin here, this little girl admits defeat. Lin Fei looked at Lu Yan and thought, this girl is not simple. She didn't mention competing with me, so she knows her place. Senior sister is overpraising me. If you want to take the 1st place, you must pay attention to Qin Tian. That person looks like a good person on the surface, but in fact he is narrow-minded. Lin Fei looked at Lu Yan and nodded. If I take the 1st place, I will never forget senior sister's warning. Junior brother Lin must be joking. A little warning is nothing. Although he didn't know what Lu Yan meant, Lin Fei was still grateful to her. At least, she could guard against Qin Tian. Being prepared would not go wrong. This Lu Yan was a person worth associating with. Looking at Lin Fei's departing figure, Lu Yan sighed. Gui Yuan City has produced another genius. I really don't know where Chairman Mu found such a genius, to be able to deceive everyone. Lu Yan thought. With such a dark horse, I don't know what Qin Tian's face will look like. I think it will be very good. In fact, Qin Tian's face was not good. When someone appeared behind him, Qin Tian's first thought was that Lu Yan had caught up. But vaguely it was not Lu Yan. Later he saw a stranger. Who is this guy? Even Lu Yan was overtaken? There was a trace of fluctuation in Qin Tian's heart. The situation seemed to have changed. A stranger appeared behind him without him knowing. Looking at the situation, it seemed that it would not take long for him to catch up. The 1st place is destined to be mine. No one can take it away. A cold light flashed in Qin Tian's eyes. No matter who this guy is, since he dared to take away my first place, then don't blame me for being ruthless. No one can take away the first place from my hands. Fortunately, I can still use my divine soul imperial sword, so I'm not afraid of that guy. Chapter 206. The competition for the runes tower was still ongoing. At this moment, all the guild leaders were focused on it. Currently, the most proud was the Black Mountain Guild leader. From the disciples who came back, they learned that Qin Tian was currently ranked first. If there were no accidents, Qin Tian would definitely be the first. Didn't I say that Qin Tian has the ability? Isn't that Chairman Mu's daughter? I didn't expect her to come out. The situation isn't good. Chairman Mu's granddaughter couldn't hold on. I think the others are about the same. If there are no accidents, the competition should be ending soon. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. On the 7th floor of the runes tower, many people couldn't hold on and were teleported out. Everyone was used to it. After all, the 7th floor of the runes tower was not easy to stay in. There would be a lot of pressure every second. Previously, no one was optimistic about the returning guild. Mu Ning was teleported out, so her chances of winning were not high. As for Yunfei, he might not be their opponent in terms of perseverance. Imperceptibly, many people started to curry favor in private. In everyone's opinion, the Blackstone Guild was the biggest winner. Currently, there were still a few people who hadn't come out. Mu Changkong had seen this kind of scene many times. He didn't take it to heart. After all, he was a level 5 runes master. His psychological quality was not comparable to ordinary people. Grandpa, I'm back. Mu Changkong could see that something was wrong with his granddaughter. He couldn't help but feel surprised when he didn't see her depressed expression. It's good that you're back. Mu Ning sat down beside him. Grandpa, aren't you curious why your granddaughter is so calm? Mu Changkong smiled. Grandpa, I guess something must have happened. In fact, Mu Ning really had nothing to worry about. She had great confidence in Lin Fei. She giggled. Grandpa is really bad. You know everything in your heart, but you still deliberately asked me. Mu Changkong's heart was relieved. On the surface, he didn't seem to care about their words. In fact, he was very concerned. When he saw his granddaughter's expression, he realized that his guess was correct. Chairman Mu, I don't know what happy thing happened to you. Why don't you tell us and share it with us? The Blackstone Guild leader asked with a smile. There was still a flash of surprise in his eyes. What happened to old man Mu? His granddaughter was defeated, yet he can still smile. Could it be that he's hiding some trump card? He couldn't help but guess. No matter how Guild leader Blackstone guessed, he would never have imagined that he would encounter such a dark horse. Old Mu, why don't you tell us so that we can all have some fun? The surrounding people chimed in and jeered. In fact, they were also surprised. The people that old man Mu had brought this time were all average in strength. It would be extremely difficult for them to fight for first place. But now, it seemed like he didn't care much about it. They would never believe that Mu Changkong would not care about who the runes tower belonged to in the end. He was probably trying to use this to hide the helplessness in his heart, right? Anyone who encountered such a thing would have such a thought. Mu Changkong said, Actually, it's nothing. I'd better keep it a secret for now. Everyone will know later. Mu Changkong had a trump card in the runes tower, so he would not say it out loud. That would not be looking for something to do. He wanted to see their dejected faces. It would definitely be very interesting. Old kids. That was how Mu Changkong behaved. Another one. Yunfei is out too. It seems like the returning guild has no chance. I wonder how long the people above can last. In just one day, almost all the people in the runes tower had reached their limits, and they fell down one after another. The outcome seemed to be about to be revealed. At the entrance of the 7th floor of the runes tower, hoo-hoo, Lin Fei let out a long breath. Relying on the strength of his soul, the restrictions in the runes tower were still very strong. He finally reached the entrance. but the few steps on the other side were like an insurmountable mountain that he could not cross. Lin Fei believed that once he stepped out, it would not be a problem for him to take first place. Looking back, he could vaguely see Qin Tian's figure. I didn't expect Qin Tian's perseverance to be so strong. He's indeed a genius in the runes tower. If he hadn't encountered me, he might have been able to take first place this time. Unfortunately, I won't give this first place to anyone. After taking a short break, Lin Fei prepared for the final sprint. Even though Lin Fei's face was pale, and he looked like he was about to reach his limit, his eyes were filled with the desire to fight and the excitement of not admitting defeat. Wait! Just as Lin Fei took a step forward, there was a wong sound behind his ears, and he heard a clanging sound in the air. What are you doing? Lin Fei turned around, his face filled with anger. In front of him was the Netherworld sword, and not far away there was also a short sword emitting a cold aura. It was as if a moment of carelessness would cause a bloody hole to appear on one's body. The one who attacked was Qin Tian. He wanted to injure Lin Fei, but he failed in the end. Your strength isn't bad, but you shouldn't compete with me. As Qin Tian spoke, his face revealed a sinister expression. Just now, when he saw Lin Fei preparing to attack, Qin Tian was very clear that he might not succeed. Thus, he used his divine spirit to control the sword and prepared to injure Lin Fei. At this moment, both parties were clear of each other's situation. As long as he injured Lin Fei would withdraw from the competition, and the first place would be his. The result was indeed very disappointing. Lin Fei was more powerful than he had imagined. Qin Tian had almost always succeeded in using his divine spirit to control the sword, but he had suffered a loss in the hands of Lin Fei. Lin Fei didn't take Lu Yan's words seriously before, but when Qin Tian attacked from behind, he knew that this person was narrow-minded. For the sake of being first, he dared to attack from behind. Bastard, shameless. If it was someone else, I might not fight for first place. But against a villain like you, who sneak attacks from behind, I will definitely take first place. If you have the ability, then surpass me. Qin Tian raged, courting death. The short sword that had stopped stabbed towards Lin Fei. Obviously, he flew into a rage out of humiliation. No matter what, he did not believe that Lin Fei would be his opponent. Blocking his attack just now was probably luck. Lin Fei was not afraid of Qin Tian. The Netherworld sword rushed forward. In just a moment, countless attacks were made, and each attack consumed a lot of his divine spirit's energy. This fellow indeed has some capital. If I did not learn the divine spirit to control the sword, I'm afraid that it would be hard to deal with him. Unless I use my divine spirit ability, it would be making a big fuss over a minor issue. Qin Tian was also not feeling good. His heart was about to vomit blood. Today he had bumped into an iron plate. No matter how he attacked, the other party was able to block it. His face became paler and his body swayed. Scram for me. The Netherworld sword carried a cold aura as it hit the other's short sword. The short sword was sent flying, and it turned into a black shadow as it pierced towards Qin Tian. You dare! Qin Tian vomited a mouthful of blood. A bloody mark was left on his chest as he was sent flying. His mind relaxed, and the transmission talisman was activated. With unwillingness and anger, Qin Tian was forcibly sent out. Finally solved a problem. Seeing that Qin Tian was sent flying, Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. A sword is indeed useless. Meeting someone with a powerful divine spirit to control the sword, it would be much more troublesome to deal with. If I had a few swords just now, dealing with him would definitely be easy. Lin Fei did not feel much pressure controlling a sword. He believed that controlling a few more swords should not be a problem. After the competition ends, and he breaks through to the Xian realm, he could give it a try. Now it should be time for the last few steps. And Qin Tian was sent out. Outside, the sky was in chaos. Qin Tian was sent out in a sorry state with traces of blood on him. Everyone was surprised. This person is so familiar, it seems to be Qin Tian. Impossible. Qin Tian is the most popular candidate for the championship. How could he be sent out? Qin Tian, he's Qin Tian. On the high platform, those who had been currying favor were all in a state of shock. Why did Qin Tian come out? It seemed like he had experienced something. What had happened during this period? Serves him right. Mu Ning was the most excited. From the moment Qin Tian was sent out, President He Shi's face was as black as charcoal. Don't talk nonsense. Mu Changkong glared at him, but his tone was clearly not blaming. President He Shi, what happened to your disciple? Mu Changkong asked in a friendly manner, but President He Shi could not say anything. He could not say that he was bullied and came out. Quickly, let Qin Tian come up. President He Shi's face was stiff, and he helplessly changed the topic. Right now, the only thing he wanted to know was what happened to Qin Tian and why did he come out. Master, you have to help your disciple vent his anger. Qin Tian came up and complained. He hurriedly added oil to the fire and described Lin Fei as a heinous villain. After saying that, everyone revealed a strange expression, and the gaze they looked at Mu Changkong became fearful. At this moment, they finally understood what was going on. It turned out that Mu Changkong had arranged a backup move, and it actually forced Qin Tian out. Of course, looking at Qin Tian's appearance, they all understood that there must have been a battle above, and the one who lost was Qin Tian. President He Shi turned his head and stared at Mu Changkong. Chairman Mu, what do you say about this matter? Listening to his tone, he wanted Mu Changkong to give an explanation. Mu Changkong spread out his hands and turned to look at the two elders. Pardon me for asking, but the rune's tower does not prohibit fighting, right? Qin Tian's skill is inferior, so you can't blame my disciple, right? There are indeed no restrictions on the rune's tower. President He Shi felt disgusted as if he had swallowed a fly. The elders had already said it, so who dared to question it? The rune's tower did not prohibit fighting, and if there were no deaths or injuries, they would not take it to heart. Qin Tian came out injured, and that sentence was true. His skill was inferior. President He Shi was about to speak, but the sky of the rune's tower changed again. Everyone was dumbfounded. Many people opened their mouths, so wide that a duck egg could be stuffed inside. Mu Changkong's eyes did not move. He stared at the sky and muttered to himself. He actually went up. On the sky of the rune's tower, the originally blank 8th floor of the rune's tower actually had a red dot appear. Qin Tian was defeated and came out, so the one who rushed into the 8th floor was Lin Fei's disciple. In an instant, all the big shots looked at Mu Changkong. Chapter 207. Who is the one who made it to the 8th level? That's unbelievable. No one has made it to the 8th level of the rune's tower in the past few decades. I didn't expect someone to make it to the 8th level today. The returning guild is unbelievable this time. Chairman Mu is really resourceful. Unbeknownst to him, he has a genius disciple under his control. Regardless of whether it was on the field or off the field, everyone looked at this scene in disbelief. The 7th level of the rune was supposed to be the end, but in the end a genius appeared. The 8th level of the rune's tower. The two elders who were seated stood up at the same time, looking excited. Truth be told, they couldn't help but be excited. It was rare for the Rune Guild to make it to the 8th level. The 7th and 8th levels had different meanings. Those who could make it to the 7th level were quite talented. The 8th level of the rune's tower was completely different. That was because those who could make it to the 8th level of the rune's tower would have great opportunities. It was a pity that the Tower of Runes division had no problems at all. Now that a genius disciple had appeared in the Mountain River City, it meant that the Mountain River City had made a name for itself in the Fallen Dynasty. The members of the Rune Guild would also feel proud. Brother Mu, let's not go home until we're drunk tonight. One of the elders said, "You hid yourself too deeply. You dug up such a good seedling without saying a word. You should drink a cup as punishment." Everyone looked at Mu Chongkong enviously. This time, Mu Chongkong was really the center of attention because of his disciple. Only President He Shi and the others had ugly expressions on their faces. They didn't dare to say anything in front of the elders for fear of leaving a bad impression. They could only slowly curse Lin Fei in their hearts. They couldn't help but curse him. It was too infuriating. This is the 8th level of the rune's tower. It's really different. As soon as Lin Fei came up, his entire body was bent at a 90-degree angle, and he almost knelt on the ground. The gravity was so strong that it took him a lot of effort to straighten his body. If the 7th level was a small river, then the 8th level would be a huge river. Lin Fei couldn't help but notice the difference between the two extremes. Huff, huff, huff. He panted heavily, but the pressure was so great that he could barely breathe. This won't do. If this goes on, I'll be teleported out myself. Lin Fei was able to persist on the 7th floor, but the 8th floor was completely different. Every breath he took would have a huge impact on his body, not to mention walking on it. Taking a deep breath, Lin Fei revealed a strange expression. This place is so special. Just now, when I took a breath, my divine soul actually strengthened a little. For a moment, Lin Fei couldn't believe such a result. It was difficult to strengthen one's divine soul. If it wasn't for the 9 heavens of spiritual power, Lin Fei's divine soul wouldn't be as powerful as it was now. Looks like this is an opportunity. Lin Fei took another deep breath. This is such a good opportunity. I can't miss it no matter what. Day after day, the people outside were still waiting. At this moment, all the people in the Tower of Runes had been teleported out. Why was it said that the competition was not over yet? It was because Lin Fei was still inside. Lin Fei was the last disciple of Mu Chongkong. This news had long been spread, and everyone envied Mu Chongkong. With such a disciple, there would be a level 7 or 8 runes master in the future. In the Xiantian continent, it was quite difficult for a level 5 runes master and above to break through. Level 7 or 8 runes masters were almost equivalent to VIPs, and all of them were valued by their families and sections. In Shanha County, the highest level of runes master was only a level 7 runes master. Even so, a level 7 runes master was still an unattainable existence. A big city guarded by a runes master could resist an army of 100,000. The fact that Lin Fei could break into the 8th floor of the Tower of Runes was extraordinary. It's been 4 days. Why isn't he out yet? You guys don't know, but the longer you can last on the 8th floor, the more beneficial it will be for your future training. I remember in our Shanha city, there was one person who only lasted 2.5 days, but he is now a level 7 runes master. Awesome. My goodness. 2.5 days to become a level 7 runes master. Doesn't that mean he can become a level 8 runes master or even a level 9 runes master in 4 days? This is too awesome. All the disciples worshipped Lin Fei. The Xiantian continent was a world of the strong, and at the same time it was a world of geniuses. Lin Fei's actions, in their eyes, were nothing out of the ordinary. In the future, when Lin Fei became a master runes master, he could brag to everyone that he was an expert of the same generation as Lin Fei. On the high platform, Mu Chongkong was surrounded by many people. From the looks of it, that kid Lin Fei should come out today, Elder Wu said while stroking his beard. This was one of the elders. Elder Wu's runic 8 trigrams rarely makes a mistake. Another Elder Zhang said with a smile. Mu Chongkong was a level 5 runes master, but these 2 elders were level 6 runes masters. Even Mu Chongkong didn't dare to offend them. It's moving, it's moving. Under the light curtain, the red color disappeared, and a handsome young man came out. The young man first blocked the sunlight, as if he wasn't used to it. Lin Fei mighty, Lin Fei mighty, Lin Fei mighty. Not long after, cheers filled the air. What's going on? Lin Fei put down his hand, speechless. From the looks of it, he seemed to have become a hero. He thought to himself, I've been high profile again. I'll try to be low-key in the future. Lin Fei liked being the center of attention. Men all liked to make a name for themselves. That was the true strength of a man. Lin Fei came from Earth. He also liked to make a name for himself. This was an innate mentality. Soon, Lin Fei felt relieved. Why did he think so much? Xiantian continent was a place where the strong ruled. Being low-key was good at times, but it wasn't very useful at other times. Currently, he was being watched by Tianxia. If he kept a low profile and attracted their attention, they might attack him in secret. If he was a genius from the Rune Guild, then they wouldn't dare to do anything on the surface. From the situation, just now, Lin Fei knew that he was in the limelight. Once the limelight was out, it was an unchangeable fact. If he kept a low profile, it wouldn't be a good thing. Since he was already in this situation, Lin Fei felt that he might as well show off. In an instant, Lin Fei's mentality changed. Today's scene changed many things in the future. After changing his mentality, he nodded to the crowd. He was quite proud that he had many fans. Kid, you lasted for 4 days. Not bad. Elder Wu said, if there's anything you don't understand in the future, don't hesitate to look for me. Elder Zhang said. As the overseeing elders of Mountain River City, they knew better than anyone else the importance of an important genius. A person who lasted for 4 days on the 8th level of the Runes Tower was definitely someone the Rune Guild needed. Although this person was young and immature, once he grew up, his future would be limitless. Even the 2 elders had to show goodwill to Lin Fei. They had reached the limit of level 6, Runes Master. Unless they had a great opportunity, they wouldn't be able to break through. Lin Fei was completely different. They couldn't even tell what his future would be like. Showing goodwill to him now would guarantee that he wouldn't go wrong. Lin Fei smiled. It's all because of the Rune Guild's nurturing that I'm able to achieve what I have today. Although these words were very exaggerated, Lin Fei still felt that he had to say it. Sure enough, after he finished speaking, the 2 elders' attitude became even better. In their eyes, Lin Fei was amiable and didn't have any arrogance. Their impression of him was very good. Only someone in the crowd looked at Lin Fei with a gaze filled with hatred. He couldn't wait to stand in the corner and curse him. Other than the elders' praise, the rest of the guild masters also wouldn't miss such a good opportunity. If they didn't make friends now, it would be too late in the future. Lin Fei dealt with this kind of situation very easily. In the eyes of the outsiders, it added a lot of points. Some of them even pondered whether they should make a trip to Gui Yuan City. Since Mu Changkong was able to get such a good closed-door disciple, maybe they would be lucky enough to get a disciple too. Mu Changkong was the happiest one. This deal is too worth it. Previously, when he helped Lin Fei to stop Tianxia's people, Mu Changkong knew that Lin Fei would bring him a huge harvest. Sure enough, Lin Fei soared in the Runes Pagoda competition. The 8th floor of the Runes Pagoda in 4 days, the result was amazing. With these 5 years, their Gui Yuan Guild would leave them far behind and lay a solid foundation. Now, I announce that the Gui Yuan Guild is the winner of the once every 5 years Runes Pagoda competition. Let us warmly welcome them and congratulate them. When the elder announced the result, everyone in the Gui Yuan Guild jumped in excitement. Lin Fei's image in their hearts suddenly grew bigger. Previously, the disciples weren't willing. After experiencing today, they truly regarded Lin Fei as a genius, a role model, and an idol. It was because of Lin Fei's reversal that they obtained 5 years of cultivation time. The benefits they obtained were not something that could be explained in a few words. After the result was announced, a jingle sounded in Lin Fei's mind. Congratulations to player Lin Fei for completing the promotion mission. Congratulations to player Lin Fei for obtaining 10,000 points. experience increased by 5 million. Congratulations to player Lin Fei for promoting to a Mystic Realm Cultivator. The lottery roulette has been activated. Do you want to draw now? The system's reaction came so quickly that Lin Fei was somewhat surprised. He still couldn't hide the smile on his face and cheered in his heart. The leveling system is really awesome. With 10,000 points, I can exchange for a lot of good things. 5 million experience should be able to increase a lot of experience. As for this lottery roulette, it's quite unexpected. There are many people now. I'll open it at night. Actually, Lin Fei's heart was itching. He couldn't wait to open it and see what good things were in this lottery roulette. It seemed that it was much more awesome than the previous random distribution. Chapter 208. Lin Fei didn't know how the day went by, but he finally understood why it was said that socializing was a mentally exhausting thing. If he had a choice, Lin Fei would rather cultivate his soul than socializing. After socializing, he was as tired as an old bull. Lin Fei was quite unhappy. That night, Lin Fei stayed at the Rune Guild. In order to prevent himself from being dragged out to drink, he made up an excuse to keep quiet. At the door, Lin Fei met Mu Ning. It seemed that Mu Ning had been waiting outside for a while. "Thank you for taking first place. I thank you on behalf of my grandfather." Mu Ning walked up. "This is what I should do. Don't forget that I am the last disciple." Lin Fei was in a hurry to return to his room. After chatting for a while, he ran back to his room. "Humph, this lady personally came to thank you, and even waited outside for half an hour. This guy actually didn't appreciate it too much." Mu Ning stomped her feet. She was very angry and decided to teach Lin Fei a lesson next time. Lin Fei was in a hurry to go back. Naturally, he didn't know that his action had caused the girl to bear a grudge. If he knew, Lin Fei wouldn't have offended Mu Ning, even if he was beaten to death. However, Lin Fei didn't know. After returning to his room, Lin Fei closed the door. From the system's prompt until now, Lin Fei's state of mind was not calm, as if there was an unsolved question in his heart. Now he finally had the chance to find out. Lin Fei sat down cross-legged and didn't open the system. Instead, he silently observed the Xian Qi in his body. At this moment, the Xian Qi should be called true essence. From the moment of promotion, the Xian Qi in his body transformed into true essence. True essence was a kind of energy that surpassed Xian Qi. If the power of a punch with Xian Qi was equal to 5, then at this moment it was equal to 100%. Feeling the power of the true essence in his body, Lin Fei remembered that the realm of Xian was divided into 4 realms: early stage, middle stage, late stage, and peak stage. I am now an early stage Xian, so I have no problem facing a middle stage Xian. With my combat skills, I should have no problem surviving when facing a late stage Xian, right? In Lin Fei's memory, early and middle stage, profound practitioners were not powerful opponents. An hour later, Lin Fei calmed down. Activate the lucky draw system. A huge roulette suddenly appeared in Lin Fei's field of vision. The roulette was divided into 10 regions, and each region had a map. Clearly, it was a lottery item. Lin Fei was the only one who could see this. When the huge roulette appeared, Lin Fei drooled. It was as if he was looking at a beautiful woman taking off her clothes. Awesome, too awesome. 50,000 points. Normal missions were worth hundreds or thousands of points. Now that he saw a reward of 50,000 points, Lin Fei was naturally excited. Lin Fei's gaze continued to move, and his heartbeat quickened. In addition to the pictures, there were also annotations on the 10 sections. With just a glance, he could see everything clearly. Lin Fei could not help but feel excited. The rewards he had received in the past seemed like trash at this moment. For example, the red region. The mighty spirit god bloodline is said to have infinite strength. It can break mountains with a raise of its hand. Hiss. Lin Fei took a deep breath. What was the origin of this system? It could even obtain the bloodline of a god? Just the mighty spirit, God, bloodline alone had shocked Lin Fei. Lin Fei was born with extraordinary strength. He could exert the strength of 5,000 kilograms, but compared to the mighty spirit, God bloodline, it was nothing. Lin Fei was still confident about this. He continued to look. Earth treasure body, the strongest defense of the earth, able to fight against 10,000 experts. Water fire lotus, innate ability. Fusion pill, fuse existing skills to create a new skill. Total annihilation, sword formation as one, sweep the world. Lin Fei kept blinking. He could not believe that his lucky draw would be so awesome when he advanced to the innate realm. Regardless of which one it was, Lin Fei liked it and wished that he could accept them all. Every time he advanced, Lin Fei knew that he had taken an important step forward. The enemies he would encounter would be exceptionally powerful, especially in Mountain River City. If he did not increase his strength, he might not even be able to survive if he encountered a late-stage mystic realm expert. When he saw the items on the wheel, Lin Fei revealed the thought of not giving up. It was as if every prize would be something good for him. May I know how many times I can draw? Lin Fei thought of the key question. As this is your first time advancing to the mystic realm, the roulette lottery has been activated. Apart from the lucky draw for advancement, there will also be a lucky draw. The cold voice of the system sounded. Haha, I can draw twice. That's great. As long as one was human, there would be times when they would be greedy. Lin Fei had his own greed as well. He wished that all the items on the roulette would belong to him. If he obtained the treasure body and bloodline, wouldn't he be terrifyingly powerful? Lin Fei was excited just thinking about it. Although he was excited, Lin Fei was not in a hurry to draw. Instead, he started to think about what he wanted to draw. Total annihilation, sword formation. The first thing that Lin Fei set his eyes on was the sword formation. If he were to practice the sword formation, it would definitely be a terrifying attack when he shot out dozens of swords. Lin Fei had experienced it firsthand. Start the lottery. The roulette began to spin rapidly. Lin Fei couldn't see it with his naked eyes. He couldn't help but be slightly shocked. It was as if he expected that someone would cheat. After advancing to the mystic realm, Lin Fei had entered a new realm. He could barely see the traces of the spinning roulette. If he was careful, he would definitely be able to cheat. 1 round, 2 rounds. Lin Fei didn't know how many rounds it had spun. It depends on my luck. Originally, Lin Fei wanted to cheat, but at this moment he could only rely on his luck. Stop! The 10 regions kept spinning in different colors. How would Lin Fei know what it was? He could only rely on his luck to spin. It was up to the heavens as to where it would stop. The speed of the roulette slowed down. Fusion elixir. Mighty spirit, God bloodline. Go over quickly. Lin Fei held his breath and stared at the roulette. When he saw the sword formation go over, his heart ached. Looking at the speed of the roulette, it should be very difficult to land on the sword formation. Creak. The roulette stopped. Water fire lotus. Lin Fei didn't expect it to stop on the water fire lotus. He couldn't help but be stunned. Congratulations to player Lin Fei for obtaining the water fire lotus. Lin Fei was speechless after obtaining the divine ability. He wanted the sword formation, but he ended up obtaining a divine ability. Now that Lin Fei had quite a number of divine abilities, he should be able to barely divide them among the divine abilities. For example, 10,000-mile saber, severing slash, 9 heavy waves, and Guiyuan finger all had strong attack power. Now that he had obtained the water fire lotus, he was just here to join in the fun. Divine ability it is then. Lin Fei didn't look too disappointed. The items that could be drawn from the roulette would definitely not be ordinary. The water fire lotus was probably even more powerful than the previous divine abilities. As he advanced to the mystic realm, Lin Fei could abandon some of his previous martial techniques. For example, he had a new understanding of saber techniques. In terms of power, They weren't considered combat techniques. He took a deep breath and prepared for the first draw. The roulette started spinning again. This time, Lin Fei was much calmer and wasn't as nervous as before. As the saying went, when one wanted to sleep, someone would immediately send a pillow. When the roulette finally stopped on the sword formation, Lin Fei was shocked and in disbelief. Was his luck really that good? No matter what he thought, the roulette couldn't stop on it. In the end, he didn't think about it and wasn't anxious. It just had to land on it. Could this be a fortuitous encounter? Of the water-fire lotus, Lin Fei was more inclined to the sword formation. He believed that not many people could block the sword formation with his soul. The next time you draw the lottery will be when you advance to the next level. After the roulette disappeared, there was an additional divine ability in the bag. It was a sword formation that could wipe out 1,000 armies. Learn the water-fire lotus. Through systematic learning, Lin Fei had long become used to it. After learning the water-fire lotus, Lin Fei revealed a moved expression. He raised his palm and a lifelike lotus appeared on his hand. What an exquisite water-fire lotus! Although that was what he said, Lin Fei didn't dare to underestimate it. He felt a dangerous aura from the lotus. If it was somewhere else, Lin Fei wouldn't mind experimenting to determine the specific power. Putting away the small lotus, Lin Fei was deep in thought. This water-fire lotus has both offense and defense. This is the most powerful divine ability I've seen so far. It's not inferior to the heaven and earth dragon tiger aura. In fact, it's much better. At first, Lin Fei didn't think much of it. Only after experiencing it did he know how domineering it was. After learning the water-fire lotus, Lin Fei went to learn the sword formation. Finally, he revealed a satisfied expression. This sword formation required treasured swords of the same level. From the 7 swords at the beginning to the hundreds or even thousands of swords, the power was completely different. If I use thousands of swords to kill people, I reckon that even the most powerful person would be pierced through, right? Lin Fei could almost imagine how powerful the attack would be if thousands of swords turned into killing weapons in the vast sky. After the excitement, Lin Fei felt a headache coming on. It's not a problem if it's mortal grade, lower grade, or middle grade. But once the number is increased, it'll be a big headache. No wonder the higher-ups said that it could wipe out 1,000 armies. A few thousand swords is simply a gold-burning cave. Even Lin Fei couldn't imagine it. With his wealth, dozens of swords would be a problem. He didn't care about the low-grade ones. But if they were of high quality and grade, seems like this matter can't be rushed. Lin Fei sighed and quickly recovered. At least he had obtained a sword formation. If it was placed outside, it would probably cause a bloodbath. After recovering his mood, Lin Fei simply cleaned up his martial arts. Now that he had advanced to a profound practitioner, he had to prepare the martial arts he would often use in the future. At the same time, he had to choose a direction to cultivate. Even though he had just stepped into the profound practitioner realm, Lin Fei knew some secrets about profound practitioners from his cheap father. First of all, after entering the profound practitioner realm, he had to choose a path to walk. This path was actually based on one's own situation, and from there, one could choose an aspect to cultivate. For example, his cheap father walked the path of the metal attribute, and the cultivation method he cultivated was also a metal attribute cultivation method. It could be said that advancing to a profound practitioner was a step that had to be taken. Focusing on one attribute would make it easier for one's strength to increase. At the same time, it would make it easier for one to break through. Most people like to focus on one attribute so that they could break through quickly. Those with good talent could cultivate 2 attributes or cultivate something other than the 5 major attributes that required a very high talent. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to continue cultivating, wasting their talent and getting stuck. But similarly, once one cultivated 2 attributes, their strength would be extremely terrifying in the future. It was not something that a single attribute cultivator could compare to. Of course, there were geniuses in a single attribute, but overall there was a huge difference. According to legend, those who cultivated the 5 major attributes were the most terrifying existences. However, no one had ever succeeded in cultivating them. If it was an ordinary person, they would definitely focus on one attribute. However, Lin Fei was not an ordinary person. Others can cultivate one attribute, but it should be impossible for me. I have comprehended the concept of wind, which is equivalent to grasping the wind attribute. If it's just the wind attribute, my saber art is mixed with the metal attribute. Now that I have the water flame lotus, I have grasped 4 of the 5 major attributes. The only remaining attribute is the wood attribute. After Lin Fei evaluated himself, he could not help but feel a headache. Others did not know what to cultivate, but he had grasped 4 attributes. If this spread, everyone would probably be shocked. Apart from this, he had also grasped the divine soul. After a long while, Lin Fei's eyes revealed a determined look. Since I have grasped the leveling system and the 4 major attributes, I will cultivate them separately. Others might not be able to break through, but I don't have to worry about it. With the leveling system, leveling up will be exceptionally easy. Lin Fei had a plan. Since he had grasped the leveling system, he had to do it with a bang. For some reason, Lin Fei suddenly thought of the woman in the Tenjin Temple and that night of pleasure. The Xiantian continent is very, very big. My strength must continue to improve. The night passed uneventfully. Early the next morning, Lin Fei woke up very early. After last night's frustration, Lin Fei could not see anything special today. After breakfast, Lin Fei found Mu Changkong. Since the matter had been resolved, he was ready to complete another task. It could be said that he was here to say goodbye. I'm leaving, Lin Fei said to Mu Changkong. Mu Changkong seemed to have expected Lin Fei's words. The matter of the Golden Breeze drizzle building, Lin Fei was not surprised. As the president of the guild, if he did not know such a small matter, he would be embarrassed to talk to others. He nodded. It's a task of the sect. I had no choice. Mu Changkong said, I really can't bear to let you go. If only I had discovered you earlier. You are the most talented person this old man has ever seen. It's just S.O. Lin Fei was embarrassed. You don't need to be modest. A person like you will not be limited by a small place. In the future, you will definitely soar to the sky. This old man is very happy. At least you are my last disciple. Mu Changkong said emotionally, I'll keep an eye on your family. I'll also make arrangements for the quota that I promised you. Lin Fei did not say anything. He knew what to do. Chapter 209. Golden Breeze Drizzle Building Headquarters. After settling everything, Lin Fei bid farewell to Mu Changkong and went to the Golden Breeze Drizzle Building. After the promotion mission was completed, there was nothing to worry about. With the Rune Guild in Guiyuan City, there was no need to worry about anything, unless they were willing to offend the Rune Guild. That would be a terrible ending. Junior brother Lin, you have hidden your strength well, getting first place in the runes competition. Amazing, amazing. Zhang Wudi had a strange look on his face when they first met, as if he was looking at a pervert. Lin Fei was stunned. The news spread so fast? Even Zhang Wudi and the rest knew about it? No one knew that the competition for the Runes Tower was held once every 5 years in Mountain River City. It was extremely intense. All the forces in Mountain River City had their eyes on the Rune Guild. The news of Lin Fei getting first place spread like wildfire. It could be said that Lin Fei had already caught the attention of many people. Such a genius, runes, master, definitely had the potential to invest in. Nonsense! Anyone who could be promoted to a level 7 or 8 runes master would have to curry favor with anyone, unless it was a top family that could ignore a level 7 or 8 runes master. Lin Fei laughed. My luck is good. Zhang Wudi rolled his eyes and thought, if you are lucky, you can get first place. Then everyone should try their luck. Of course. Zhang Wudi would not say such words out loud. You have brought fame to the Divine Force sect. Martial Uncle wants to see you. Zhang Wudi changed the topic and seemed to have remembered something. Martial Uncle wants to see me? Lin Fei was surprised. Those who could become Martial Uncle in the Divine Force sect were all extremely powerful. They were at least profound spirit realm experts. Zhang Wudi revealed an envious look. Although our Divine Force sect has runes masters, it has nothing to do with the Rune Guild. You have brought fame to the Divine Force sect by getting first place. Of course, Martial Uncle wants to see you. Good boy, you are really lucky this time. Lin Fei smiled in surprise. I am in the limelight. On second thought, Lin Fei felt relieved. His performance as a genius would undoubtedly attract the attention of the upper echelons, and he wouldn't have to worry about Tianxia doing anything bad. Looking around, Lin Fei lowered his voice and said, How is this Martial Uncle's temper? You also know. Zhang Wudi patted Lin Fei on the shoulder. Uncle Zhang has a good temper. Don't worry. Hearing this, Lin Fei breathed a sigh of relief. However, after Zhang Wudi finished his sentence, he added with a serious expression, Uncle Master will be fine, but you have to be careful of the other inner disciples. You became a runes master, took first place, and displayed shocking talent. They might make things difficult for you. After all, you stole their limelight. Lin Fei said gratefully, Thank you. Zhang Wudi said, You don't have to thank me. You and I are one now. They already put me in your body. Ah, there's such a thing. Zhang Wudi smiled. So, if you work hard, we can also work hard. Lin Fei wasn't stupid. He quickly realized what was going on. Almost all of the disciples in this generation were from the same circle. Now that a famous person had appeared in one circle, it would naturally affect the inner disciples of the other circles. They would band together to make things difficult for them, so as to deal a blow to their circle. In an elegant little courtyard, two people sat facing each other. In the middle was a chess game. They were playing and killing nonstop. It was very intense. Behind them stood a few disciples. We haven't seen each other for 10 years. A middle-aged man opposite them said, Yes, it's been 10 years. You and I are old. Now it's the world of the young. Opposite them was also a middle-aged man. He had thick eyebrows and big eyes. He had a fierce aura. He was like a sleeping tiger, ready to bite at any second. That person also sighed. Your chess game is still the same as before, advancing bravely. Isn't it the same for you? You are good at using tricks and schemes. But I think that when you attack bravely, all tricks and schemes can't be realized. That person nodded. Lost. A chess piece fell on the board. The chess game suddenly became one-sided. Both of them couldn't help but laugh. Martial Uncle, Zhang Wudi, and junior brother Lin Fei are here. They are waiting outside. Brother Zhang, since there are people here, let's stop here for today. We will continue tomorrow. Zhang Wen nodded. Okay, I will look for you tomorrow. I happen to have a lot of good wine. Let's drink to our heart's content. We won't go back until we are drunk. I will wait for you tomorrow night. That person stood up and flew away. Zhang Wen said, Invite them in. After Zhang Wudi and Lin Fei came in, those disciples didn't look very friendly. Sure enough, Lin Fei said to himself. Lin Fei didn't care about their jealousy and envy. This kind of people couldn't achieve anything. Greetings, Martial Uncle Zhang. Greetings, Martial Uncle Zhang. Zhang Wen turned around and saw a young man next to Zhang Wudi. He had a handsome face. Those who didn't know him would think that he was a playboy, but he was actually the champion of the divine martial sect. You are Lin Fei? Zhang Wen said to Lin Fei. Zhang Wen had occasionally heard of the name Lin Fei, but he didn't care much about it. Now that he saw it, he knew that Lin Fei was very talented. He was even more talented than Zhang Wudi. He couldn't help but be curious. "I am Lin Fei." Zhang Wen suddenly laughed. "Not bad, not bad. No wonder you can get first in the rune's pagoda. Your strength should have broken through in the rune's pagoda, right?" This person had good eyesight. He could even see that. Lin Fei nodded. "Martial uncle, you have good eyesight. I did break through a few days ago." Zhang Wudi was shocked. From what martial uncle said, Lin Fei had become a Xian cultivator. Wasn't that too fast? It had only been a few months, and he couldn't help but feel that he was too far behind. If they stayed at the 9th level of the martial path, Zhang Wudi would still have the confidence to fight. But after becoming a Xian cultivator, the gap would start to widen. If he wanted to break through, he would need at least half a year. Freak, what a freak! The disciples behind Zhang Wen also secretly sucked in a breath of cold air. If he was at the 9th level of the martial path before, they wouldn't care. They were all Xian cultivators. But now that Lin Fei had broken through and become a Xian cultivator, it was worth caring about. Runes and martial path dual cultivators couldn't help but care. "You can leave now." After asking a few questions, Zhang Wen let them leave. Lin Fei and Zhang Wudi couldn't figure it out. What did it mean? Was it just a question? That was too simple. But then they thought about it. An expert naturally had the style of an expert. It would be strange if they could guess it. "Let's go drink tonight." After coming out, Zhang Wudi was extremely happy. Did you see those guys just now? Their faces were livid, as if their parents had died. Damn it. Zhang Wudi didn't care about being overheard. Lin Fei didn't know what to say, but he liked Zhang Wudi's character. Zhang Wudi's mood was written all over his face. He couldn't help but think of eating meat and drinking wine. Okay, Zhang Wudi took Lin Fei to the place where they lived. The Golden Breeze drizzle building was very polite. They arranged a small courtyard for each disciple of the Divine Four sect, and also arranged for 2 beautiful maids. After a day's rest, the next morning, the supervisor of the Golden Breeze drizzle building came. It turned out that they were going to assign tasks. "Wudi, what task did you get?" "Protecting a direct disciple. You're quite talented," Zhang Wudi said. "Nothing will happen in the next few days. When it's settled, we can go back." Lin Fei really didn't want to stay in Shanha City. He had to protect people, and it was asking for trouble. "My strength is still too low. Who is Lin Fei?" Suddenly, someone shouted. It turned out to be the supervisor who assigned tasks. "I am." Lin Fei didn't know what was going on, but he still stood up. "Follow me. The person you're protecting isn't here." Lin Fei's heart thumped. What was going on? From what Zhang Wudi said, the people they were protecting were either direct disciples or branch leaders. It seemed that there was a change in the supervisor's arrangement. "You're so lucky. It seems that you're going to protect the direct disciples." If he had a choice, Lin Fei didn't want to protect the direct disciples. In his eyes, the direct disciples were a group of arrogant people, and they were the most difficult to take care of. "I'd rather not protect them." Zhang Wudi blinked. I know. Feeling helpless, Lin Fei left with the supervisor. Outside a courtyard, the steward stopped and pointed inside. "The person you want to protect is inside. However, the person mischooses to protect will depend on your strength." Protect a woman? Lin Fei was so depressed that he almost vomited blood. Arrogant lady? A fiery hot lady? Or a dainty young lady? Lin Fei looked around. There were indeed 5 or 6 young people, each of them rubbing their palms together, as if they wanted to fight for this opportunity. Among them, he saw 2 familiar faces. They were the disciples that Uncle Master had brought with him. They should be inner disciples. After leaving behind these words, the steward didn't dare to stay any longer and disappeared without a trace. "What's going on?" "Junior brother Lin, you're going to participate too." Lin Fei didn't want to bother with them, but someone came up. They were the inner disciples. They didn't hide their auras at all. It seemed like they did it on purpose. Lin Fei said, "If you can be here, why can't I?" "Since we're from the same sect, I'll call you Junior Brother Lin. Do you really think that you're a genius? In our eyes, you're just a country bumpkin. A country bumpkin." Lin Fei knew the person who spoke. Zhang Wudi had introduced him to him. His name was Qi Yang. "Well said, Senior Brother Qi. A country bumpkin wants to eat swan meat. He's overestimating himself. We'll teach this kid a lesson later and let him know who he should offend and who he shouldn't offend." The other disciples hurriedly chimed in with ugly expressions on their faces. Qi Yang waved his hand, signaling them to stop. "Did you hear that? Get lost before I get angry." Lin Fei raised his brows. "What if I don't leave?" Qi Yang said in a deep voice. "You'll be in trouble then." As the older generation of inner disciples, the new inner disciples basically didn't dare to go against them because they formed a circle which was far from what the new disciples could compare to. "Miss has ordered. Everyone can come in." Chapter 210. Humph. Qi Yang snorted and walked towards the door. In his opinion, Lin Fei didn't know what was good for him, and there would be plenty of chances to teach him a lesson. Even if his martial uncle knew, he wouldn't say anything. A mere inner disciple shouldn't even think about stepping on them. In theory, they should be the ones to take the most credit for this mission. They were all inner disciples and had the strength of Xian cultivators. After Lin Fei appeared, the situation changed. He was a runes master and a martial artist. It was a completely different situation. That was why Qi Yang went to provoke him. He couldn't control his emotions at such a young age. Once he attacked, they would have plenty of chances to make him suffer. In the divine martial sect, the higher-ups wouldn't care as long as there weren't casualties. Unfortunately, Lin Fei was more cunning than they thought. Their plan didn't succeed. After they entered, the people from the Freelancer Alliance also entered. Their gazes changed. Lin Fei rubbed his nose. "Looks like I'm in a lot of trouble." Whether it was the veteran inner disciples or the people from the Freelancer Alliance, Lin Fei wouldn't compromise. If they dared to make a move, he dared to show them who was boss. The divine martial sect liked geniuses. He would defeat them with his identity as a genius. The courtyard was huge. There were fake mountains and flowing water. There were flocks of flowers and birds. There were even demonic beasts. It was a refreshing sight. The Golden Breeze drizzle building wasn't simple. In the courtyard, there was a small martial arts field. Lin Fei saw an acquaintance. It was manager Yang Qian. He knew from Zhang Wudi that this manager Yang Qian was a relative of the vice building master and held a portion of the authority in the headquarters. Apart from Yang Qian, there were 2 rows of maids. Is that the person we're supposed to protect? At the end of the row of maids was a small pavilion. There was a curtain blocking the entrance. As a martial artist, he could only vaguely see a silhouette. It was obvious that the curtain wasn't ordinary. "Since you've been invited here, you should know what kind of mission it is." Yang Qian walked out and said politely, "However, to protect the young miss, we need to pick the strongest one. We'll arrange a mission for those who are defeated. Don't worry." No one was angry at Yang Qian's words. There were so many people here. Everyone knew what this meant. They clearly needed to compete. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many people. "Manager Yang is right. We support you." "I like this idea. Start quickly. I can't wait." Everyone revealed a happy expression. Miss said that we can't see anything from one-on-one sparring. Everyone is standing in this big circle. In the end, whoever stays in the circle will be protected by that person. A maid walked out of the attic. Soon, a large circle appeared on the ground. Everyone looked at each other. No one had thought of such a solution. It's just a circle. What's there to be afraid of? Immediately, someone walked into the circle. Yang Qian smiled and said, "Those who don't want to join the industry should just give up." Qi Yang was the second to enter. When he entered, he glanced at Lin Fei. "Junior brother Lin, I advise you to give up." Lin Fei said, "Haha, you think you can just give up like that? Do you really think you're some big shot?" "Good, good." Qi Yang suppressed his anger. His eyes flickered as he found a solution. When Lin Fei walked into the circle, Yang Qian smiled at him in a very friendly manner. The circle was very big. Lin Fei was alone and found that there were 3 small circles inside. The largest group was Qi Yang, followed by the Unaffiliated People Alliance, and the last was Lin Fei. Looking at them, once they start, the first thing they will do is to deal with me. These people are all Xian cultivators. I can spar and see my strength. Lin Fei's heart stirred as he made a decision. "Begin." A maid in red stood on the steps and announced the start. "Kid, get out." The Unaffiliated People Alliance made the first move. The incident with Xia Chuan a few days ago. The Unaffiliated People Alliance knew that they had encountered such a good opportunity. If they didn't teach Lin Fei a lesson, they wouldn't be able to take it lying down. Water Flame Lotus. Lin Fei's mind flickered, and the water fire lotus bloomed within a radius of a few feet, enveloping them. This was the first time he used the Water Flame Lotus. The first few people from the Unaffiliated People Alliance were immediately trapped by the Water Flame Lotus. If Lin Fei wanted to kill them, they would immediately die in the circle. Scram! Lin Fei was overjoyed. The Water Flame Lotus was indeed a powerful attack. After the Xian cultivators were trapped, they couldn't break free. Bang, bang, bang. Those people were sent flying and landed outside the circle. They didn't expect to lose so quickly. The Unaffiliated People Alliance looked at him as if he was a monster. Damn, they were all Xian cultivators. How could they be sent flying? This was unprecedented. If he killed them, then wouldn't. Cold sweat appeared on their backs. Lin Fei didn't care about what they were thinking. This was the first time he fought a group of Xian cultivators with the strength of an early Xian cultivator. Too weak. With Lin Fei's wind flow movement technique, once someone got close to him, he couldn't block the attack and was sent flying without exception. Damn, you dare to sneak attack. The Water Flame Lotus covered Lin Fei's body. When the fist landed on it, the Water Flame Lotus moved, but it couldn't break through the defense. What kind of battle technique is this? The defense is too strong. Lin Fei was also shocked. The defense of the Water Flame Lotus was beyond his imagination. It was even stronger than the Earth Energy Protection. Its attack power was also ridiculously strong. Everyone attacked together. Qi Yang was also stunned. When he came back to his senses, he shouted and stabbed his sword towards Lin Fei's back. His expression was very ugly. If he didn't teach Lin Fei a lesson today, he wouldn't be able to raise his head in the future. Clang, clang, clang. Qi Yang was indeed a mid-Xian cultivator. His sword technique was also very shocking. The moment he attacked, he used the Divine Martial Sex mid-yellow class myriad sword technique. In a short period of time, he stabbed more than 100 times in an attempt to break through the Water Flame Lotus. What a strong defense! Qi Yang was very proud. Facing such a strong defense, he couldn't help but sigh. It was indeed difficult to deal with. He was even more anxious to send Lin Fei out. Fortunately, his fellow disciples cooperated very well. Bang, bang, bang. Clang, clang, clang. Under the Water Flame Lotus, Lin Fei blocked countless attacks, but there were still no signs of him breaking. It seemed like he was in an invincible position. Outside the circle, Yang Qian was very excited. He glanced at the pavilion and thought, Lin Fei is really good. As expected of the Tower of Runes champion. I didn't expect him to be so strong. It seems like I found the right helper this time. With this Lin Fei protecting the young miss, she shouldn't be in any danger for the next few days. On the pavilion, that person is Lin Fei. In the center of the curtain, A girl in black clothes with long hair draped over her shoulders was standing. She was clean and tidy. She wasn't as shy as other young misses. On the contrary, she looked very decisive. Young Miss is right. That kid is Lin Fei. He's also a runes master. I didn't expect him to be so strong. The maid giggled. If I'm not wrong, those people aren't Lin Fei's match. The girl in black said calmly. The maid asked, they still have a few people. How can they lose? The girl in black smiled. You'll know when you see. When have you ever seen the young miss lie? Junior brother Lin, we still underestimated you. We can't break through this divine ability of yours. But if you think that you can rely on this tortoise shell to last until the end, then you're dreaming. Chiang said coldly. He hated this Lin Fei to the core. Lin Fei grinned. Tortoise shell? That's a pretty good name. Since you want to get out, I'll fulfill your wish. The dragon slaughtering saber appeared in his hand. He raised his hand and released 5 tornadoes, which rumbled as they swept over. The moment the tornadoes that contained the power of the gold element were released from Lin Fei's hands, a dangerous blade aura enveloped the small courtyard. Crack, crack. The huge rocks in the courtyard shattered into countless pieces under the tornadoes. Countless black cracks appeared on the hard ground. Not good. Dodge. This was the first time Lin Fei had used his full strength after advancing to the profound realm. He wanted to see how strong the attack power of the gold element's blade light was. Rumble, rumble. The moment the tornado appeared, everyone was immediately dazed. Their pupils constricted, cold sweat appeared on their foreheads, and all the hairs on their bodies stood up. What a terrifying attack! Poochie, poochie. The tornado was purely composed of blade lights. After fusing with them, its speed was faster than before. They hesitated for a moment, and when the tornado arrived, they each released their own attacks. The sharp attacks instantly tore through their protective aura, causing them to spit out blood. In one move, all of them were injured. They could not imagine how such a powerful attack could be released from the hands of a young man. If someone else had said it, they would not have believed it, even if they were beaten to death. After experiencing it for themselves, they all had a thought in their hearts, that they could not offend this person again in the future. Stop, stop! Yang Qian hurriedly stopped him. If he did not stop him, who knew how many of them would survive? In fact, he himself did not expect that Lin Fei would use the power of the gold element to such an extent. It was indeed impressive to release 5 of such powerful attacks in one go. In fact, even if Yang Qian did not say anything, Lin Fei would have stopped anyway. The power of the attacks was very clear once they were released. If they were released again, they would definitely be seriously injured. Qi Yang and the others left the circle. There was blood at the corners of their mouths, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. They had been defeated so quickly, they could not block the attack of the refinement of water and fire alone, let alone the subsequent attacks. If he really wanted to kill them, they would definitely be the ones to die. Only now did they understand that Lin Fei was not someone they could offend. I was careless and broke this place, Lin Fei said to Yang Qian. It's fine, Yang Qian said. If I knew that you were so strong, I don't think there would be a need for us to compete. As he spoke, Yang Qian looked at the injured people and then at the cracks on the ground. There was a cold aura around him, and his tone was exceptionally polite. This person was not only a runes master, but his martial arts strength was also terrifying. That's good. In fact, Lin Fei knew that they would not blame him, but there were some things that he had to say. Your Excellency Lin Fei, the young lady invites you in. A maid walked down from above and stood respectfully in front of Lin Fei. Chapter 211. Qi Yang and the others watched helplessly as they left. They had lost. It was a crushing defeat. Let's go. Qi Yang and the rest glared at them. They didn't dare to stay here any longer. Healing their injuries was more important. Walking into the pavilion, a fragrance assaulted their nostrils. The 4 maids on the left and right looked very powerful. Their gentleness exuded a murderous aura. These maids had killed before. Lin Fei immediately made a judgment. The young lady he had to protect shouldn't be someone easy to deal with. I hope this girl won't be too unreasonable. In his impression, young ladies from wealthy families weren't easy to deal with. They were like Ms. Perfect on Earth. Please take a seat. The curtain opened and a girl in black walked out. She wasn't very old. She should be in her 20s or even younger. However, no one would doubt that this girl was a delicate girl. Lin Fei sensed a high and mighty aura from this girl. His mind couldn't help but think of a name. Queen. This girl was like a powerful queen. That gaze, without exception, revealed the aura of a queen. Damn it, this girl isn't easy to protect. I really don't know why they would want to protect a queen girl. It wasn't hard for Lin Fei to imagine that the kind of organization would have the kind of existence. The Golden Breeze Drizzle Building was a gang. Anyone who came from a gang would know at a glance that they weren't easy to deal with. It was normal for this girl in black to have such an aura. Lin Fei retracted his gaze and found a place to sit. He wasn't in a hurry to speak. He believed that the smart girl in front of him would definitely have something to say. The girl in black leisurely walked over. I'm very satisfied with you. Ah, what was that supposed to mean? Lin Fei was speechless. This girl was really direct. It's good that you're satisfied. If you say that I'm not good, I won't have a good time. Lin Fei smiled. The girl in black said, From today onwards, you are in charge of my safety. Actually, this lady doesn't need protection. But you won't understand even if I explain. After speaking, she shook her head. Lin Fei said, When do we start? Now. Lin Fei had become her protector. Between protecting a man and protecting a girl, Lin Fei preferred girls more. At any rate, it was pleasing to the eye and could be considered a beautiful scenery. When he came down from the attic, Yang Qian was still waiting for someone. Young Hero Lin, please wait. The black-clothed girl in front stopped. Steward Yang, bring it over later. Don't worry, Mississippi. When the black-clothed girl left, Yang Qian bitterly smiled. Young Hero Lin, Miss Jin's temper is like this. Don't mind it too much. Lin Fei shook his head. It's okay. I won't mind. That's good. Yang Qian said, In the next few days, Tianxia will launch some assassinations. Even though Miss has many experts by her side, we are still worried that something will happen. Therefore, you have to spend more effort on this. It turned out that the reason Yang Qian stayed behind was to tell Lin Fei about Miss Jin's character and temper, in case it was difficult to get along with her in the future. It could be said that he had put in a lot of effort. Lin Fei expressed that there would be no problem. Anyway, it was only a few days. After dealing with the matter of the gold mine, he could return to the Divine Force sect. At most, it would only take a few days. Yang Qian brought Lin Fei to Jin Feng's residence. You can go in. All right. Lin Fei nodded and turned to walk into the small courtyard. This small courtyard was not very big, but it was filled with a warm atmosphere. It was not as big as the previous courtyard. It seemed that he had destroyed the courtyard, so they had changed it. Why is there no one? Just as he came in from the outside, he heard the sound of flowing water, but he did not see anyone. Take this. Suddenly, there was a shout, and a black figure shot out from the underbrush, carrying a sharp aura. Who? Lin Fei dodged sideways, and a stone on the ground was broken into pieces. The person in front of them did not stop attacking. The black shadow turned into a long snake, revealing a snake head. It opened its bloody mouth and bit towards them. Lin Fei frowned and had a guess in his heart. Open. The dragon Cellier slashed out, chopping down on the snake's head. The huge snake head, condensed from true essence, turned into nothingness. If the first attack failed, it would be another attack. In the surroundings, The vines turned into long arrows and whizzed towards them. Bang, bang, bang. The whip-like vines all landed on Lin Fei's body. The heavenly dipper, Dragon Tiger Chi, was instantly activated, releasing its defensive power. What a strong attack! Lin Fei could feel the power of the falling vines. Water and fire lotus. Within the circumference, a large water and fire lotus bloomed, cutting off the black vines and breaking the vine attack for a short period of time. Boring, boring. Just as Lin Fei was about to escape to the source of the voice to find the person who had attacked, a voice came from the bushes, a familiar voice. Miss Jean? A black-clothed girl walked out from the nearby forest. She held a long whip in her hand, and it was that long whip that had attacked earlier. I'm very satisfied with you. This was what Jean Feng said when she came out. In fact, Lin Fei had already guessed it in his heart. When he saw Jean Feng come out, he was still quite unhappy. If Miss Jean is not satisfied with me, you can change to someone else. If there's a next time, I won't be courteous to you. In fact, Lin Fei had indeed controlled it just now. If he did not control it, the water and fire lotus would not have been aimed at the vines, but at Jean Feng's hiding place. Humph, isn't it just a sacred art? What's so great about it? Jean Feng's face turned cold as she looked at Lin Fei and said, As expected, he has a bad temper. Lin Fei said to himself, That's all I have to say. I don't want there to be a next time. Lin Fei did not care at all. What kind of background did this Jean Feng have? For him, to be able to protect her was a blessing that he had cultivated in his previous life. At the same time, Yang Qian, who was outside, walked out from the corner with a smile. Miss, seriously, that brat is also something. When the time comes, there will be a good show to watch. Perhaps only Yang Qian himself would know about this. Lin Fei became her personal bodyguard. After a short time together, Lin Fei realized that this queen-like girl did have the demeanor of a queen. Sneaking up on him was to test his strength. As for why she did it herself, with her pride, she would only be satisfied if she tested it herself. No matter what Jean Feng did, Lin Fei did not say a word. This was one of the ways to deal with girls. In the evening, Lin Fei thought that today was over. Who would have thought that Jean Feng wanted to go out? Go out with me. There will be an auction in the evening. Jean Feng threw such a sentence and walked away. Lin Fei wondered if he had heard it wrong. You want to go out at night? Don't you know the danger outside? Jean Feng said. With such an expert like you, I have nothing to worry about. Of course. Lin Fei could not do anything about what she said. The Divine Force sect and the Golden Breeze drizzle building were related. Lin Fei would not say much about such a small thing. At the same time, he was very interested in the auction. Jean Feng went out with Lin Fei and 3 experts, 2 in the middle stage and 1 in the early stage. It could be said that she was well protected. Lin Fei couldn't understand. Why did she need someone like him to protect her? But after thinking about it, he understood. After thinking about it, this Miss Jean probably didn't like people protecting her. On the surface, she was just putting on an act. No wonder she would sneak attack him. If he couldn't block it, she would definitely change to someone else. This girl was very scheming. Soon, Lin Fei's mind fell on the auction. In front of us is the biggest auction in Mountain River City, the Mountain River Auction. Lin Fei came from the Divine Force sect, so he quickly got to know the 3 people. The one who spoke was called Dongshan, a middle-stage profound practitioner. He was a loose cultivator, and the other 2 were from small sections. The Golden Breeze drizzle building was a big sect. Becoming one of its consecrators would bring great benefits every month. There would also be guidance from the Grand Consecrator. It was much better than cultivating alone. Brother Dongshan, ordinary people can't enter the Mountain River Auction, right? Lin Fei asked. Dongshan was a typical burly man. He cultivated an earth attribute cultivation technique. He was tanned and strong, which did not match his age. Those who did not know him would think that he was a middle-aged man. In fact, Dongshan was less than 30 years old. It is indeed difficult to enter. Before Dongshan could speak, Li Ming, who was next to him, spoke with a tone of envy. As a disciple of the Divine Force sect, it is not a big problem for you to enter. For people like us, unless Miss brings us in, it is really difficult to enter. Dongshan said. Lin Fei thought of the loose cultivator alliance. Loose cultivators were not treated well outside. Oh, yes, what items are usually auctioned in the auction? It was not that Lin Fei had never been to an auction. Those auction houses, in terms of level and influence, could not compare to the Mountain River auction. Mountain River City, Mountain River auction. To be able to hang such a name, one's strength was also a proof. That is hard to say. You are lucky. Tonight's auction only happens once a month. There are all kinds of rare treasures and secret skills. I guarantee that you will be dazzled. Last time, I heard that the Mountain River Auction House auctioned a lower profound level martial skill manual. The competition was fierce. A mystic level martial skill is nothing. After consuming a strange fruit, I advanced a realm and even comprehended a mystic skill. That is scary. When the auction house was brought up, many people started talking about it. It was an eye-opener for Lin Fei. Whether it was a rare fruit or a mystic level martial skill, it was not something that could be seen normally. Most of them were existences of legends. Among the mystic skills that he had cultivated, the Waterfire Lotus was the strongest. He also had the family's mystic skill, Green Dragon Capture. A yellow level upper grade mystic skill was already extraordinary. What would a mystic level martial skill be like? No one could imagine it unless they had experienced it themselves. Mountain River Auction House. It was huge, huge, unimaginably huge. There were 2 rows of murderous martial artists at the entrance. It was undoubtedly a warning to everyone not to play any tricks in the Mountain River Auction House. Other than that, there was a layer of mysterious energy shrouding the auction house. Runes formation. Mountain River Auction House could become the #1 auction house in Mountain River County. Of course, it had its own power. Just the level 7 runes formation outside alone was an incredible existence. There were also experts inside. Dongshan had a good impression of Lin Fei. In the past, there was a mystic master in the late stage who tried to rob something in the Mountain River auction house. In the end, he was killed by the experts inside. Those who dared to cause trouble in the Mountain River auction house were killed outside. Lin Fei sucked in a cold breath. The Mountain River auction house was not simple. There were many big shots in the Mountain River auction house. Not long after Lin Fei arrived, he saw an expert at the Mystic Adept Realm and 2 late-stage Mystic Realm guards by his side. Jean Feng came down from the carriage and attracted many people's attention. "Sister Jean, you're early." After a while, another young lady walked over with guards. One look and one could tell that she was not an ordinary person. "You too." Jean Feng smiled and walked over. When the young girl saw Lin Fei, she was a bit curious and giggled. "Xiao Feng, is he new?" "Can't I?" The young lady smiled. "I'm just curious." The 2 of them did not continue to talk. "That lady is Wang Minmin. She is the daughter of the Wang family. The Wang family is one of the top 10 forces in Mountain River City. They run an elixir shop and have a lot of resources." Dongshan was afraid that Lin Fei did not know about it and would cause trouble. "Oh, so it's the daughter of the Wang family." Lin Fei smiled. "Looks like she has a good temper." Dongshan chuckled. The 2 ladies seemed to know a lot of people. "Miss Jean, I didn't expect to see you here today. We are fated." Just when the 2 of them were about to go up, a fan was placed in front of them. A young man in white walked out with a smile on his face. He was followed by a few guards. Jean Feng's face turned cold. "Child Chin, you should say that to other girls." Wang Minmin chuckled. "Yeah, Sister Jean doesn't like people like you." Lin Fei stood at the back. He was not going to pay attention to them. However, when his eyes fell on the person, he could not help but change his expression. That was because the person was looking at him with a monstrous hatred. Although the hatred was well concealed, Lin Fei still noticed it. Who is this person? When did I offend someone like him? Dong Shan nudged Lin Fei and lowered his voice. Do you have a grudge against Tianxia? Why does that person want to kill you? They are from Tianxia. Dong Shan did not show any strange expression. He explained, this child Chen is Chen Xian, the son of the deputy leader of Tianxia, Qin Qiu. He has always been very fond of him. Look at the two guards beside him. They are both late-stage mystic realm cultivators. Lin Fei looked over. The young man revealed a trace of coldness. He was sure who the person was. He was so young and had a deep hatred for him. Then, he must be from the Li family. The one who escaped from the Li family was the young master of the Li family. I don't know what's going on either. Lin Fei shook his head. He thought to himself, when should I find an opportunity to kill the Li family's young master? Who knows what kind of trouble he'll cause outside? Looking at the other party's appearance, he's definitely the kind of person who likes to scheme. Villains were hard to deal with. These words were appropriate everywhere. Chapter 212. While Lin Fei was paying attention, young Master Li Yin also noticed Lin Fei's presence. Lin Fei. Li Yin nearly spat out 2 words from his throat. An enemy who had exterminated his family. A blood feud as deep as the sea. His eyes were about to spit fire as a cold killing intent flashed through them. Then he returned to normal, making it impossible for others to tell what had happened. However, his aura became even colder, like a venomous snake in the darkness, ready to strike at any moment. He was the young master of the Li family, a young master who had once enjoyed boundless glory. Everyone in Guiyuan City would greet him as young Master Li. But in a single night, he had fled to the ends of the earth. If not for the keepsake his father had left him, who knew how many times he would have died. The main culprit of all this was Lin Fei. Lin Fei's appearance had caused the Li family to fall into the abyss. This was a hatred that Li Yin would never be able to forget. Li Yin blamed everything on Lin Fei, wishing that he could eat Lin Fei alive to vent his anger. However, he knew that he was far from being Lin Fei's opponent. The strength of a 9th-stage martial artist was not bad, but against someone who could kill a martial artist of the same level, Li Yin did not have the slightest confidence in winning. If Li Yin knew that Lin Fei had advanced to the profound practitioner realm, he could only watch helplessly. Little did he know that if it wasn't for the Li family wanting to swallow up the Lin family, none of this would have happened. At the very least, he, the young master of the Li family, would not be in such a miserable state. From start to finish, Li Yin had never thought about this. He had placed everything on Lin Fei. Young Master Qin, didn't you always say that the people in the gang don't care about you? They are respectful on the surface, but they don't care about you in private. Now is a good opportunity. I guarantee that the people in the gang won't dare to look down on young Master Qin in the future. Li Yan's eyes turned as he flattered Qin Xian. Qin Xian asked in a haughty tone, as if he cared a lot. Li Yin, do you have any ideas? Hurry up and tell me. If you do a good job, I can wipe out the Lin family with a single word and let you return to the Li family. Both of them were martial artists, so they used voice transmissions to communicate with each other. Outsiders could not hear them. Li Yun's eyes flashed with coldness, and he closed his eyes. Young Master Qin, now is not the time to talk. Why don't we go to the private room, and you can come slowly after you hear me? Qin Xian thought for a moment. This really wasn't the time to talk. All right, let's go in. Qin Xian was not in the mood to flirt with the 2 young ladies. He had plenty of time to play with women. In his opinion, the Golden Breeze and Drizzle building of the Golden Phoenix sect was just a small matter. It was far less important than completing his own important matter. What the hell is Chun Xian doing? Wang Minmin was clearly taken aback. Chun Xian wasn't normally like this. Jin Feng said in surprise, "It's good that he doesn't come. If I see him, I won't be in the mood for dinner." She didn't give Chun Xian any face at all. Perhaps they didn't care, but Lin Fei, who was behind them, saw the trick. Because the secret message needed to move his mouth, he vaguely saw his mouth move. After Li Yun appeared, Lin Fei paid special attention to him. After entering the mystic realm, his 5 senses had been strengthened. He could see all the killing intent that Li Yun released, but Li Yun didn't notice it. Therefore, Li Yun thought that no one paid attention to him, but he missed out on Lin Fei. If you don't kill the snake, you will be hurt instead. What a wise saying. No matter what Li Yun said, Lin Fei made up his mind to kill that brat. No matter who he was that kind of person. No matter who it was, if he wanted to kill, he had to kill. Jin Feng and Wang Minmin led a group of people into the Mountain River auction house. After entering the auction house, one would know what a top-notch place was. It was not something that a countryside place could compare to. The decorations were luxurious. Those who didn't have the confidence couldn't help but feel guilty and helpless. They couldn't afford to play in such a place. Tall buildings, tall chandeliers, thick and soft flooring. With one look, one could tell that the price was extraordinary. Ordinary martial artists couldn't afford it. Little Lin, don't be fooled by the splendor. In fact, the Mountain River Auction House has another name in Mountain River City. It's a top-notch club. Everyone likes to call it the Mountain River Club. Lin Fei looked around and said in surprise, "The Mountain River Club!" Dongshan said, "It's the most famous place in Mountain River City. Apart from the auction house, there's also the Treasure Pavilion, the Bloody Arena, and the Beauty Palace. Every place is a sacred place. After seeing it, you will know that there are many things that you don't know about in this world." Lin Fei said, "Thank you, Brother Dongshan, for reminding me. I feel like I've been enlightened. I've learned a lot." Li Ming smiled and said, "Even if Brother Dongshan doesn't say it, you will know sooner or later. Don't be polite with him." Soon they entered a private room. From what they said, Lin Fei knew that this private room was specially used by Jin Feng. It wasn't something that could be booked with money. The private room was very large, about the size of a basketball court. The interior decoration was equally magnificent. Whether it was the foot or the ceiling above, every part of it was exquisite. In one of the private rooms, there was a canopy which was set up with the runes formation. One could see the auction outside without leaving the private room. After half an hour, the auction began and the canopy of the runes was opened. Lin Fei had seen a projection TV before, so he wasn't surprised. In the eyes of others, he looked calm. Jin Feng was also surprised. Why is this guy so calm? Is he not an ordinary person? She thought for a while and didn't take it to heart, because the auction had begun. A middle-aged man walked onto the auction stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the monthly auction. Due to the time constraint, I will not waste any time. Now, I announce the auction officially begins." The first item was a jewel. To be exact, it was a night luminescent pearl. It was almost the size of a fist. The night luminescent pearl was quickly auctioned off, and the auction began. Lin Fei had been watching. It had to be said that the things that could be auctioned in the Shanhao auction house were all good things. Among them, there were rare treasures, martial arts manuals, divine weapons, and without exception, they were all of high quality. My goodness, a high-grade yellow rank Xian technique actually needs more than 1,000 Xian spirit stones. How much silver is that? In the Gue Yuan city, gold and silver were usually used for auctions. But in this kind of large-scale auction, silver and gold were common things. Other than buying other things, they were generally useless. Xian spirit stones were a kind of stone used by martial artists for cultivation. Xian spirit stones were divided into low-grade, middle-grade, high grade and top grade. Among them, low grade was the lowest. Even so, a low-grade Xian spirit stone was worth tens of thousands of gold outside. Of course, this was just a metaphor. In fact, it was priceless. Generally, it was difficult to buy a Xian spirit stone with tens of thousands of gold in hand. Generally, high-grade Xian spirit stone veins were controlled. By the way, the Golden Breeze Drizzle Building and Tianxia had a war. They said it was a gold mine, but in fact it was the accompanying Xian spirit stone that appeared below. Although it was not a big vein, it was still a huge attraction for them. Like the Shanha auction house, the currency of exchange was Xian spirit stone. The entire Xiantian continent also used Xian spirit stone for transactions. Lin Fei was an eye-opener. It turned out that the outside world was like this. It seems that I have to get some Xian spirit stones in the future. No wonder Wang Fei once said that they went out to perform tasks for merit points. Merit points can be exchanged for Xian spirit stones. Now I finally understand. Jin Feng and Wang Minmin each bought a runes talisman from a 5th rank runes master. Both of them didn't blink when using Xian spirit stones. It could be seen that they were full of confidence. Now, we are auctioning an unknown Xian technique manual. According to our master's guess, this secret manual is the 9 Revolutions mysterious art manual that was popular in the Luo dynasty. This manual should be used by Xian realm experts. The starting price is 100 Xian spirit stones. This Xian technique manual did not attract much attention. Who is so unskilled? How can they take out this broken manual for auction? They must be short of money. Who would cultivate this kind of mental cultivation method? It is said that people who cultivate the 9 Revolutions mysterious art are basically unable to break through the current realm. Buy it and prepare to die. Sect, it must be a sect. It had to be said that everyone's eyes were bright. No one would want this broken mental cultivation method. The people below and the people in the box, no one would speak. The auctioneer on the stage looked calm. A Xian technique manual was not important. The second volume of the 9 Revolutions mysterious art, 100 Xian spirit stones. If no one is bidding, then prepare for the next item. The auctioneer looked around and found that no one was bidding. 100 Xian spirit stones of lower grade. When they saw the price of the box, everyone couldn't help but show a puzzled expression. What the hell was going on? 100 Xian spirit stones of lower grade. This remnant of the 9 Revolutions mysterious art manual belongs to the 10th box. Without any accident, the remnant of the 9 Revolutions mysterious art manual was successfully auctioned. I helped you get it. How are you going to thank me? In the 10th box, Jin Feng said to Lin Fei with interest. Jin Feng really didn't care about 100 Xian spirit stones of lower grade. She was just curious why a remnant of the 9 Revolutions mysterious art manual was worth auctioning. Everyone knew that this rubbish mental cultivation method was unlucky for anyone who cultivated it. Jin Feng was curious. Lin Fei said, I don't have any Xian spirit stones for the time being. I will definitely double it for you later. What did it mean to be short of money? This was what Lin Fei looked like at the moment. He had plenty of silver and gold, but he did not have a single Xian spirit stone. Jin Feng did not agree. Her beautiful eyelashes twitched. That won't do. How about this? You owe me a favor? This chick was really smart. Favors were the most difficult thing to repay. If it was something else, Lin Fei didn't care at all, but this favor, it was hard to say. He didn't expect that the queen girl would ask for a favor as soon as she opened her mouth. Men don't say no, Jin Feng said again. She had defeated Lin Fei. Wang Minmin also said, Sister Jean is right. A man should be like this. When Lin Fei saw the two together, he knew that there was no other way. It was just a favor. What was there to be afraid of? Chapter 213. A favor. Lin Fei quickly felt relieved. He would never believe that he would encounter a fragment of the 9 Revolutions' mysterious art in a place like the Mountain River Auction House. Ever since he became a profound cultivator, Lin Fei had mastered many magical powers, but the true essence in his body did not increase much. Although he was much stronger than ordinary profound cultivators, his true essence was 30 to 40% more than others. Lin Fei had been thinking about finding the fragment of the 9 Revolutions mantra so that he could increase the true essence in his body. If magical powers were a car, then true essence would be gasoline. A car without gasoline, would it still be a car? Of course, it was not a car. The more magical powers Lin Fei mastered, the more true essence in his body would be consumed. If he met someone with more true essence, he would be at a disadvantage sooner or later. The fragment of the 9 Revolutions mantra. Lin Fei had been thinking about whether he should get someone to look for it. He did not expect to encounter it here, and it happened to be part of his cultivation. The 9 Revolutions mantra was not compatible with other mantras. No matter how he cultivated it, it would be pushed out and he would never be able to strengthen the true essence in his body. Now, Lin Fei finally let out a long sigh of relief. Not to mention one favor. Even if it was 10 favors, Lin Fei would not care. As for his performance just now, it was nothing more than to let the other party know that he did not value the 9 Revolutions mantra. Ding dang! Congratulations to player Lin Fei for completing the search for the lost 9 Revolutions mantra 1. Obtain 10 million experience and 10 pieces of middle-grade dark spirit stones. When the waiter outside personally delivered the fragment of the 9 Revolutions mantra, the system immediately notified him. Lin Fei grinned. He subconsciously opened the system and displayed the mission attributes. Player, Lin Fei. Level, Early Stage Profound Martial Cultivator. Distance from next upgrade. Martial Arts, Rushing Thunder Saber Technique. 8 Desolation Fist. Green Dragon Grappling Technique. Total Annihilation Sword Formation. Combat Skills. 1 slash and half. Energy Returning Finger. 10,000 Mile Saber. 9 Heavy Waves. Treasure. Temporarily none. Magical Power. Water Fire Lotus. Points 10400. Mission. Search for the missing 9 Revolutions mantra 2. After he saw its attributes, Lin Fei's mood was exceptionally good, and he said in his heart, I obtained 10 million EXP for nothing. When the time comes, I'll be able to advance into the intermediate stage of the profounder realm after completing a few more assignments. Moreover, I'll be rewarded with dark spirit stones. Those are great treasures, and they're even mid-grade dark spirit stones. A single mid-grade dark spirit stone can be exchanged for 1,000 low-grade dark spirit stones. Lin Fei did not expect that he would immediately get 20 pieces of middle-grade profound spirit stones when he was short of money. From Dongshan, Xiao Chen learned one thing. This was the exchange rate for medial grade Xian spirit stones. But in reality, there were not many people who exchanged for them. After all, inferior grade and medial grade contain different energies. If a martial artist could only cultivate for 4 hours with a piece of inferior grade profound spirit stone, then a piece of medial grade profound spirit stone could definitely cultivate for a month. The night's auction ended quickly. There were a lot of good things auctioned later, among which was a mystic-ranked lower-grade martial art. In the end, it was auctioned for 1 million lower-grade Xian spirit stones. The competition was not ordinary. It's too lively. Coming out of the private room, Li Ming was still reminiscing. Even now, these two guys were still excited, especially when they saw the mystic, ranked martial art being auctioned. The strength of a martial art determined the strength of one's strength. A mystic, ranked martial art could definitely suppress the enemy, and not something a yellow ranked martial art could contend with. Mystic ranked martial arts are so expensive. I'm afraid we won't be able to buy one in our lifetime. The other loose cultivator sighed. That's not like there's no chance. Everyone, work hard and become a mystic master. There will be a chance. Dongshan had obviously seen a lot of scenes, so he was not affected much. Lin Fei echoed. It seems that Big Brother Dongshan is smart. Everyone, work hard and cultivate will not be a problem. As for the matter of martial arts, Lin Fei was not worried for the time being. He had the lottery system, so he was not afraid of not being able to get a martial art if his luck was good. This did not include killing people in private, killing people and arson. Not long after walking out of the private room, Dongshan's expression suddenly turned serious. There's a situation. It turned out that Chen Xian, who had disappeared earlier, was in the direction of the turn. It seemed that he was waiting for Jin Feng and the others. Two beauties, are you preparing to go back? Chen Xian smiled mischievously. He was just short of moving his hands and feet. After Dongshan and the others signaled, the three of them walked up and blocked Qin Xian to prevent any unforeseen events. Young Master Qin, please conduct yourself. Dongshan blocked Qin Xian and said expressionlessly. Qin Xian squinted and sneered, get lost. Who do you think you are? Dongshan said, this is our duty as guards. Young Master Chen has made things difficult for us. Lian walked out from the side. Miss Jean, is this how your guards act? Master didn't say anything, but they spoke first. Jean Feng's expression turned cold. She looked straight at Qin Xian. Qin Xian, what do you want? Qin Xian smiled. I don't want to do anything. You don't have to think of me as a bad person. Don't tell me that other than being bad, I don't have any good points. Wang Minmin was not afraid of Chen Xian. Since you don't want to do anything, then get lost. I'm not in the mood to see you. Tianxia was powerful, but Wang Minmin wasn't afraid. Naturally, she wasn't afraid when she spoke. Qin Xian's face darkened. Since you've put it that way, then I'll be straightforward. Your guard has offended me. Kneel down and apologize, and this young master can pretend that nothing has happened. Impossible. The Golden Phoenix refused immediately. Having grown up in the Golden Breeze drizzle building, she was smart enough to understand what was going on. Was Chen Xian looking for trouble? Jin Feng couldn't help but guess what he meant in private. Qin Xian's expression turned cold. Your tone is still as cold as ever. Your guard has offended me, and I cannot swallow this anger. Since you are unwilling to agree, then I will take a step back. How about we fight on the blood arena? Listening to his tone, regardless of whether Jin Feng agreed or not, Chen Xian was looking for trouble today. Behind Chen Xian, there were two late, profound realm experts blocking the way. It was obvious that they didn't want Jin Feng to pass. No one dared to cause trouble in the Mountain River auction house, not even Tianxia. But if someone made a similar threat, no one would say anything. The Golden Phoenix was a headstrong person. She knew that Chen Xian was looking for trouble with her, so she couldn't back down. If she backed down today, Tianxia would definitely find something to talk about. This was not a good thing for the current Golden Breeze drizzle building, so she had to agree. Jin Feng knew that it was a trap, but she still wanted to go. Since young Master Qin has spoken, I naturally won't refuse. I'll wait for you on the blood arena. The Golden Phoenix was decisive. After thinking it through, she immediately agreed to Qin Xian's words. Qin Xian said good. As expected of a heroine, I'll wait for you on the blood arena. After taking a few steps, he suddenly stopped. Don't worry. My two reverends won't attack you, lest people say that I'm a bully. Then he left with his men. Sister Jean, why did you agree? Wang Minmin said worriedly. Chen Xian obviously doesn't have good intentions. The Golden Phoenix smiled bitterly. I can't help it. Chen Xian is deliberately looking for trouble. If I don't agree, who knows what will happen next? Didn't you notice that there were some people peeking nearby? I dare say that if I didn't agree, the news of my cowardice would definitely spread tomorrow. This Qin Xian is a standard villain. Chen Xian was called a villain. He was in a good mood. His face didn't have a dark expression. He patted Li Yun's shoulder. Your idea is not bad. That bitch Golden Phoenix couldn't stand the provocation and took the bait. When we get rid of that Lin Fei, I won't forget what you did. This is the result of young Master Chen's strategy. This, lowly one only gave a little suggestion. It's really nothing. Li Yun said modestly. Hearing this, Chun Xian revealed a satisfied smile. Good, good. You know how to do things. If you don't want to go back, you can follow me from now on. I just need a scheming person like you. Li Yun revealed an excited expression. A trace of disdain flashed in his eyes. He said gratefully, Thank you for your advice, young master. Chun Xian noticed Li Yun's expression and said, Come, let's go to the bloodlust arena. Once I'm done with Lin Fei, I'll tell those who look down on me. I'll let them know that I'm not a wastrel. What they can't do is a piece of cake for me. Congratulations to the young master for your victory. You've utterly defeated them. Ha ha ha, the bloody arena. This was a place where the upper-class people laughed. Ordinary people couldn't enter. The bloody arena, as the name suggested, was very bloody. Every move would see blood. It was unknown how many people's blood stained the arena. The arena was built on top of a huge rock. Around it, there were large and small seats for people to look at the arena. There were also private rooms. Every night, many famous people would appear here. They were here to pass the time. They would arrange for their servants to fight on the arena and gamble some treasures. More often than not, when it came to fighting techniques, the host would be stimulated to the point that his blood would boil and he would choose to personally participate in the duel. Every month, many geniuses would die in the bloody arena. At the same time, some people who had conflicts would fight here. When Lin Fei's group arrived, a battle had just ended. Two mid-stage profounder servants had engaged in a life-and-death battle. One died and the other was injured. The injured one was completely crippled. In the eyes of the upper class, the death of a servant was nothing. They only wanted to fight for their honor. Nothing else mattered. For example, the two of them had arranged for their servants to fight just for an item. This kind of thing was very common in the bloody arena. It wasn't surprising. Everyone around the bloody arena had servants by their side. These servants varied in strength, but they were at least in the profounder realm. Some were even in the profounder realm. It was obvious that these big shots weren't simple. Jean Feng's arrival caused quite a reaction. Why is Miss Jean here?